arguments, no matter what we're fighting for, to at least try to make non-fallacious ones. At least try to.
Church, why don't you come up real quick? Because like so that way we can actually have like a discussion about this. I invited you in case you didn't know. What's up, Water?
Hey, man.
Just talking to somebody in the comments at his devoted church. He started off by saying, "Oh my God, bird talking about great apes, not apes, same thing." All right, Stilla,
Yar.
can I get your age?
Yes, sir. 20.
All right, what you gotta say about the topic?
Absolutely. Firstly, how you doing?
I'm chilling.
Love to hear it. Boom. Evolution is a fact. All humans are apes. What are apes?
Apes are members of the great ape family. Specifically, they are categorized as not having a tail. Basically, anything in the great ape family as far as chimps, bonobos, orangutans, gorillas, and humans.
Love
Big
it.
brain.
Okay,
Wi-Fi.
so
Hang on. I'm going to help out
Mhm.
Snapped a little bit here.
Yeah.
Got a big brain, Wi-Fi molar pattern, distinct skeletal structure, musculature,
Okay.
shoulder, arm structure. So those are all biological characteristics of apes.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So we should go to the zoo, protest, get all the apes out of the zoo, correct?
No.
you're not understanding what you think apes is. You think apes are a species, it sounds like, or apes is a genus, right?
Yes. So
So
go ahead.
so like we are a species of great ape called Homo sapien,
Uh
right? Homo sapien, right?
yeah.
Just okay. So we like ape isn't. People often confuse gorilla with ape, but apes are just a category within. Like I think it's within. Like I think it's hominidae. So that is the great ape genus of which we are a part of.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see what you're talking about. So kind of
Yeah,
like, okay, I understand now.
yeah.
Um,
It's cladistic taxonomy.
okay, I understand.
Okay,
So, oh, where'd the topic go?
that's okay.
My bad.
Oh no, you
It's
good, you good.
yeah, he does that.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, it's TikTok. It's TikTok glitching out. I'll like back out of the app and look at something, and then like I'll come back, and then it'll just like fucking not want me to be great.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyways, so evolution is a fact. Where does evolution come from? Like, how did it all
Hey,
start?
do you want to take that snapped, or do you want me to?
Well, what do you mean by where does evolution come from?
Meaning, like, how did it all start?
Started with the first life form, the first single-celled life form.
Yeah.
It's called Luca, or the last universal common ancestor. It's
Okay.
called the prokaryote,
Well,
and then
that wouldn't even be where evolution starts, right? Because you also have to consider like Luca wasn't the first life form. Luca was the last universal common ancestor.
but I think that's where the evolutionary theory begins. Snap. You and I might disagree on this. We need to flesh this out.
Yeah.
But as far as I am aware, and I'm not an evolutionary biologist, right? I'm just interested in the topic.
Yeah.
But my understanding, and I get things the minutia wrong frequently.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that it starts from the last universal common ancestor, or Luca, which was a prokaryote, and then from there you have the domains of life, which are archaea, bacteria, and eukaryotes. So when we, as the humans, as humans or Homo sapiens, descend our ancestry all the way back to eukaryotes, our multi-cell organism with a nucleus.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
All right. So, based on what you told me, where it is, so the Luca theory of evolution, based on what I'm reading, the node of the tree of life, which the fundamental domains diverge. As such, our understanding of Luca impacts our understanding of early evolution of life on Earth. Basically, everything that you just told me. I was also told on a different live that evolution started from cells. Would you have to agree with that?
Yeah, prokaryote is a cell.
Okay.
Eukaryote, yep, that tracks. Yeah.
All right, sweet. And Many people who explain evolution also believe the Big Bang happened. I believe the Big Bang happened did as well. Would you agree?
So I'm going to agree with a qualifier. Yes, I agree, and I agree that the Big Bang theory exists. But evolution, the evolutionary theory, doesn't contend or include the Big Bang theory. Do you understand?
Okay, I'm following.
Okay, so evolutionary theory begins, and Snapped and I have a little bit of conversation we need to have about this, but at the last universal common ancestor. So it begins from life. Okay, so prior to life, and we're talking about RNA and DNA, that's what we're arguing about.
Yeah.
But the evolutionary theory is only from life. Like it doesn't contend with embryogenesis, right?
Mhm.
And how that occurred. It's only from the first life form. So it doesn't include any type of cosmology. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not familiar with
With cosmology?
no.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't contend with like the universe, planetary formation, or anything that predates the first life form. That is not the evolutionary theory.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, yeah, got it. I'll definitely look into that and study a little bit more about it. Uh Basically everything else, like there has never been a single piece of evidence that disapproves evolution, basically what we were just talking about. There is such thing as a missing link. There's no such thing as a missing link. Could you explain that? It's
Sure.
curious.
Sure, yeah. So missing so transitory fossils are often what's discussed, like the evidence that clearly demonstrates what a layperson, which I am, but which a layperson, to borrow the phrase, would see like a dinosaur with wings. We have that. We have Archaeopteryx, right? But all fossils are really transitory if you get down to it, because evolution doesn't stop until a species goes extinct. So just take our own species, for instance. We are continuing to evolve because evolution is the gradual change in allele frequencies over time with successive generations.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir, of course. I understand. And kind of last question before I hop off. Have you heard of the Elliott's argument?
No, I haven't. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So it kind of starts off with a series of questions. Do you have time for it?
I go ahead.
All right. So first question starts off with infinity. Would are technically speaking, would we be able to reach infinity?
Are you talking about an eternal like now we're not talking about evolution anymore, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So you want to talk about the nature of of the eternal? Is that what you're asking?
Kind of, sort of, yes. That's what the Hold on one moment.
Do I believe in an eternal concept? Yes.
Okay. That's where my question comes from. Like, where would we be able to reach infinity? Like, for example, if I were to jump rope, boom. If I continue to jump rope, I jump rope over and over again. Would I be able to reach infinity?
No, because you have a defined lifespan, no matter what that might be. And if
Okay.
you're lucky, right, it's going to extend, the average lifespan. I know what it is in my country, but I think yours is a little less.
Yeah.
I assume you're American.
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay, so like the average lifespan is around, I think, 76 years for a male in your country. So
Mhm.
like you're not going to be able to reach anywhere close to infinity by jumping rope, because you're going to expire much prior to anywhere close to a number that is not quantifiable,
Okay.
which is what infinity is that it's not quantifiable. It's past what can be quantified.
Okay. Let's say, all right. Let's use a different example then. For infinity,
Sure.
if I were to program a computer to count as fast as as fast as I wanted to count, like as fast as possible, really, would it be able to, hypothetically speaking, reach infinity?
No,
Why is that?
because as far as my understanding, I'm not a computer scientist,
Yeah.
but a computer, right, is going to continue to quantify things. And if you can quantify it, right? It means that you haven't yet reached infinity. So as far as if you're asking me what eternal concept I believe in,
Yeah,
right? It's like there is one that I and it's just a theory, right?
of course.
So it's the big crunch theory of the universe expanding and contracting when the dark energy, which we know is responsible for the expansion of the universe, but we can also measure that the expansion of the universe is slowing, right? So after this slowing stops, right, it'll start. The theory is, right, is that it then begins to contract into itself again, back to what we refer to as the singularity
Mhm.
of a Big Bang. So it just continues to do that, kind of like an accordion. So, given that consideration, right, that expansion and contraction, that'd be an internal process that exists outside of time.
Okay. All right, sweet. That should be all the questions I have for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for letting me up. Hope you guys have a good one.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Commander, can we get your age for TikTok?
Snap, you know me. Come on, man. Republic leader.
Oh, I'm fucking tripping. Yeah, we are. I am following you.
Yeah, no, we're good. I changed my name and profile picture.
But you said what? What was your name?
Leader.
Shit, I fucking so many motherfuckers I know, bro.
Yeah, no, I came onto your live. Like, why do you keep inviting me to your lives?
I remember now.
They're awesome. Snap lives are the shit.
Just got it out of a debate, and they were trying to say BLM is a T group, and ISIS is not a T group.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was trying to. So, this woman made a proactive claim that said every country has a T group that has children soldiers. And I'm like, okay, name an active T group inside the United States that has children soldiers. And they're like, has children soldiers. And they're like, oh, BLM, they're indoctrinating children. And I'm like, okay. The definition of a soldier is to be in an army. The BLM is not an army. You're just arguing semantics. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm giving you definition of words that you refuse to abide by.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
And they want to try to say, oh, ISIS is not in the military. Does that mean they're a T group? They're in an active war with another country. We went to war with ISIS. That made them a military. We never went to war with BLM, and BLM has never went into war with the U.S.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not the same fucking thing.
Yeah, no. I just left. I'm like, I can't fucking do this.
Is that a Star Wars guy?
Oh,
Commander?
yeah, Thorn.
All right.
It's someone made art of them as like knights, like medieval knights,
Oh, okay.
and Thorn is my personal favorite.
Cool.
So, that's the photo. They've done Fives, they've done Echo, they've done Clone Force 99, they've done Cody, they've done Rex.
Do you know who Darth Dawkins is?
Oh my god, I fucking hate him.
I had one of his little Diddy disciples come in earlier.
Dude, I hate him so much because he wants to use these smart ass words. It's like, dude, I doubt you know what every word you say is.
Literally, do you know who Catholic traditionalist is?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Well, he's one of his little Diddy disciples. He came in, basically got mad that people were, trying to chime in when he was talking to me, and he basically tried to call me out and say that, I'm not a man, I'm not a big boy, and this, that, and the third, if I don't kick everybody out. So I fucking caved and I kicked everybody out, and he tried making this stupid ass argument that made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. That basically, can I prove, was I there at the creation of the universe or whatever? And I think he said, can you attribute or something? I don't even know what the fuck he was even what words he was using. To be honest, I was just like, dude, what? And then he basically was like, okay, well, we know that the Big Bang happened because of Hawking radiation. And then he's like, well, what caused the Hawking radiation? I'm like, the Big Bang. And he's like, what caused the Big Bang? And I was like, we don't know yet. And he's like, oh, yep, right there. You just said that we don't know. I said, no. I said, we don't know what caused the Big Bang. I don't put words in my mouth. But he basically, he rage quit and he got fucking mad and left.
Just that's it's just the god of the gaps, right?
That's exactly, yeah, it's exactly what it was. But I was just very fucking confused because the way he was wording shit, I was just like, dog, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you sound like a fucking chihuahua. Like, not for real, but I mean, like, I was just over here so confused. Like, I was like starting to stutter and shit. I was just like, dog, oh fuck no, bro. I'm not about to fucking. I'm not going out this sad. And I was about to kick him for a second, then I'm just like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna let you speak your piece. I'm gonna let you fucking yip yap or whatever the fuck. He just said is removing himself.
Dog, I can feel shit moving my stomach. This hurts.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm fucking hurting right now.
You got some gas. You got some bad gas, man. Go sit on the toilet, brother.
Go take a
I
shit.
know. Yeah, no.
Dog, I don't want to
it's
sit
serious.
on the toilet in 100-degree heat. I'm fucking good, bro.
You don't have AC in your house, man. That sucks.
No, I do, but I live in a RV, and so we close off the bathroom to conserve the air. So it's like that room is hot as fuck, bro. It's like a sauna.
Oh Jesus. Well,
Yeah.
turn it on, cool it down, and then go sit down.
I'm good.
My goodness.
Damn, bro.
I'm just hurting. I'm having cramps right now.
Bro's just about to groundhog it to fucking just so he doesn't
Dog,
get.
I will sour tight my ass right now if I have to. Like,
Alright.
you ever had a sour patch, or what are those like balls? Those sour balls? They're like really really sour though. The airheads or warheads. They're like a really sour candy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
I'm gonna sucker puck my behind like that. Like, have you ever eaten one of those and just
hold on a
Yeah,
second.
it's a warhead. It's a warhead.
warhead? Yeah, warhead.
Yeah, you were right. Ponika. We got a
Hello.
guest.
Yeah, I'm just here to chill. I was just on Flat Earth live stream and I got dogpiled, so I just kind of want to chill in a place with normal human beings.
Fair enough. They do that, eh? They're so mean, those Smurfs.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say exactly normal because I am a little bit peculiar, but yeah, you're in friendly company. The world is not flat.
Snap, you are the missing link, bud.
That makes a lot of fucking sense, actually. That's why I can't fucking postmodern, this fucking modern human society. I have to return back to monkey. I wouldn't mind it either. I get pissed off at too many things in human society. If I just get pissed off, I could just go fucking smack a fucking gazelle with a club.
I only say that because you said it before.
No, Scribble said that I look like a Paleolithic human or something.
Yeah, and you said, you know what? I have to concede a little bit on that.
Because I kind of do. He doesn't even fucking remember exactly what he said, but he said something like along the lines of like an archaic human.
Right.
It's fucking funny.
You know what's a little bit wrong, man? Is
What?
the fact that Florensis shows up in the in our current genome, right? Or is assumed, right?
I don't even think it's in our genome. Like Florensis is just its own thing. I mean,
Well,
go ahead.
No, just that just I don't I'd hate to misrepresent what the man might have said, but I recall I have a memory, and it could be wrong, just of Paul saying that it's likely, just like even though we don't have the DNA of Homo erectus or Heidelbergensis, because of the age, that the same could be held true for Florensis since we don't have their DNA. But that it is, since the same population certainly existed at the same time, Homo sapiens and Florensis, we know that, right? That it is, I can't conceive of a scenario where that didn't occur.
Well,
where
I
there
think
wasn't
I
where there
think
wasn't mixing between the two species. Like, why wouldn't there be?
if I'm not mistaken, I think Florensis went extinct shortly after Homo sapiens got there.
But sure, but they still were there. So to say that like a sapien never got it on with a little Florensis creature, I would say is unlikely. But I wonder,
This is true, but I'm just stating for the simple fact when you compare it to like Neanderthals and how long it took for them to go extinct, and like again, I don't know how true this is, so I could be wrong. But if you take that and compare that, like if it was a relatively short amount of time, take the time it took for Neanderthals to go extinct for how long it took for them to go extinct. Even if they did get it on, it's very, very unlikely that it's even in our like genome. If anything, it would be in the genome of like the people that evolved
yeah,
it.
well, yeah, like the people that are still in and around that area. And well,
Yeah.
Neanderthal was a beast to contend with, literally, right? They were stronger, they had higher muscle mass, they had more dense muscle mass, more dense skeletal structures, right? They could like if you fought a Neanderthal, like you would lose. Like the idea is that we could outthrow them, right? Like as far as we could launch, projectiles further distances. So that's how we, you know, would in a group setting. And I think we're more organized and cooperative, right? We were more collaborative. So
But
that
that's
was how we outcompeted them. But if you went one on one with a Neanderthal, you would lose.
more than likely,
And you
yeah.
did and you didn't have a ranged weapon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, more than likely, yeah. But the thing is like we're finding out that like they had a fat factory. Like there was a fat factory that they found.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, like I it's just a lot of inconsistencies with certain things. Like, why the fuck did we advance so fast? But they were here longer than us. The only difference that they really had from us was they were just a little bit stockier and they might have moved in smaller like groups.
Yeah,
But
and they weren't as cooperative. Like we what Homo sapiens have that no other Homo species had to the same degree was our ability to cooperate,
mhm.
right, in larger groups. Hey, but I want to like we need to have an argument about this RNA and Luca thing. What's up with that?
Well, the thing is that the first life form would have been RNA based. That's 100% what Carmen said, or
Yeah.
Cartman, Carmen. But Luca is like the last universal common ancestor that is DNA based. So some of our like at some point we do probably have like common ancestry that is RNA based. We just don't know it. Like we just
Okay.
don't have like the actual proof. Like I guess you could say like the proof.
Do we have? Is there any RNA based life forms that still exist today?
I'm pretty sure there is, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what Carmen said.
Yeah, that was an honest question because I don't know.
No, I mean shit. I get it. I get it. I totally get that. But damn, dude, the fucking the his devoted church guy, he didn't even want to come in here and say shit. I invited him up right when you came in here, but he said MS in biology here. I'll show you my degree. Where did you go to school to receive your credentials? High school. And then they were like, it does because you seek out bias, false assumptions, and don't do any physical testing in labs. It's or yeah, and then that was it.
Yeah, I love the call to like perform an experiment in front of me right now that that would prove what you're saying. Like, okay,
Right.
that's not really gonna happen.
You wouldn't even believe that anyway.
And also the amount of like prerequisite knowledge before you can even like begin to do an experiment is ridiculous and probably not feasible for someone like them.
Yeah, and I read something. I don't know if I can repeat it verbatim, but I really stuck. Well, it partially stuck with me anyway because I have a hard time remembering shit. But but because I have a hard time remembering shit. But just that if you're arguing with a scientist and you're not a scientist, you're not having a disagreement, you're just wrong because science doesn't doesn't pretend to be the truth. It just seeks truth. And if you feel it lied to you, it didn't lie. It just learned something more, right? Because you're not, and the theory, with that, like unpacking that a little bit, is that you have to propose a scientific based model to contend with the existing science, right? So it's not really, it's not a discourse, right? Without a model to challenge the existing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you score any points, Panika? Like I haven't heard a flat earther concede anything. I've
I
been
was trying.
exposed
So
now.
their big thing was like, well, the first thing you tried to tell me was you can't like
Ooh,
have liquid
hold
that
on.
isn't in a container on Earth. And I was just like, okay, what about like waterfalls, right? And then we spent the whole time like I was trying to say like, yeah, you can measure the volume in a waterfall or like in a kitchen sink faucet, but they're like couldn't comprehend the simple idea of like water being in motion. And then I said like water's always in motion because
So somebody in the comments
like
says,
unless it's like 0 Kelvin, so just no progress on any front.
There never is, in my
so,
experience. And I don't have a lot, but it's just an absurd argument. So I try to stay away from it because I need my brain space to learn actual things.
somebody in the comments is saying that abiogenesis has zero evidence. Primordial soup has never been found biologically or geologically. So if you're going to say abiogenesis is the way that life started on Earth, you're making a claim with no evidence.
Snap, you've dealt with that one before, right? Like for abiogenesis to occur, right? You have to have you can't have anything else that's already in within the niche. And the niche that's available past abiogenesis is everything.
Dude, I don't even like it's just the fucking fact that we have like the literal yo, what's good, Tom? But we literally have the
Oh,
fucking chemicals that make up RNA.
wait a minute. Like the abiogenesis man just entered the building.
A
Tom, get
leading
up here.
hypothesis isn't a
Tom,
scientific theory, and that's the abiogenesis stance. But that's not even true though. We have like we're like one step away from making a cell.
Tom, get your abiogenesis ass up here and school this guy in the comments.
That's that's like saying right, and I already know you're gonna say that. Oh well, we're missing a step. That means that it's not true. Well, that's like saying right that we're one step away from making a rocket or whatever. Not even a rocket. Like we're one step away from figuring out I don't know how to do a certain type of surgery. That wouldn't mean that that surgery isn't possible. We're just literally one step away from figuring out how to do it properly. Like,
Oh, Tom's not coming up. He must have something
yeah,
to do.
it's not accepted in the scientific community as a theory, so why would you accept it?
That's so
Brother,
stupid.
I just fucking told you. We are one step away from fucking making a living cell. Like, actually making that bitch. Like, if I'm not mistaken, somebody actually made a cell. Okay? Well, I don't care if you're talking to Tom. I'm talking to you. Fucking,
Tom's actually Tom's
yeah,
actually doing this like right now.
right. We over here talking about it. He's actually doing that shit.
Yeah.
But, man,
Like we're level 1. He's level 10. You ever play Mike Tyson's Punch Out Snapped?
call it as such.
You ever play Mike
Oh,
Tyson's
brother.
Punch Out?
Huh?
You ever play Mike Tyson's Punch Out? I know it's an old game, but yeah, are you familiar with it?
I've heard of it, yeah. I know what it is, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just like the challengers that you face when you're like Glass Joe or or when you are you're not Glass Joe, that's the first guy, but get more and more difficult, right? Up to Mike Tyson. So I was just saying, like thinking like, we would be like the first guy that you have to face, but as far as abiogenesis, but like Tom would be Mike Tyson pretty much.
No, I think Oblivion would beat Mike Tyson.
For abiogenesis versus Tom? I don't think so.
Oh, well, I don't know. He said, "I don't know about all that, but thank you, abiogenesis." So how
he's
are you?
humble.
Of course. What a humble lad.
No, I've heard Tom teach Oblivion things about abiogenesis, and him like, oh yeah, that's cool, right? So, given that Tom is actively working on the cutting edge, as far as I can tell, right?
Mhm.
I would have to give Tom the belt.
Hey man, I just want to say this. Fucking Pups or whatever the fuck her name was. It's Jerica 2.0.
Oh yeah, that was. I just feel stupid for getting strung along. Like I dropped her right away. I should have just kept up with that. Tom, what's up, bud?
Hey, what's going on?
User, come up here and talk to Tom verbally about abiogenesis. I dare you. Nah, no, too
Yeah.
scared. Get your emotions
I hope
ready.
he's got enough followers, to be honest. But, I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. I think right now, at the state we're at, we've got enough things with abiogenesis to be able to say every single part of it. We have an explanation for it, and it's been tested quite a lot. And like a lot of the major holes in it have been filled. I'm not going to say that like all of them have, because there are some, but like pretty much most of the mechanisms of how we get the first synthetic like, organism and the first kind of proto cell onto a cell, just from like these systems that come about spontaneously and then come together spontaneously. We've got all the evidence of it, you know, from the membrane to how the protein first formed, to the information stuff, even the metabolism. All of that seems to be answered in a pretty conclusive way.
What do you, if Tom, if you could put a timeline on it, or would you even put a timeline on it as far as when do you think you could fully replicate it in the lab? How far
Hold on,
away?
man.
There's a lot of cool
I
stuff going
just
on now. You've got like there's some Tokyo studies. There's like a lot of stuff in Scandinavia. The main issue is there's no funding for it. Like, you've got people
hey,
working at five.
can I interject really quickly? I don't want to interrupt the. Well, I mean, I already kind of did, but like, brother, user, why are you bringing up old ass like brother, user, why are you bringing up old ass like fucking
Yeah, I agree.
papers?
I've read that. I think I've read that paper from
They're over
2011, and I agree. In there, they didn't know, but since then, there's been a lot of things. And I think what's really cool is, especially because it's gone completely under the radar, is how many new papers there've been. Like my thing on the like animal body.
Sorry, Snap, can you not stand by your air conditioner when you're outside, man? You can't hear shit.
I'm not even standing by it, but yeah, I'll mute. I'm sorry.
Okay. How does that disagree?
Get up here and talk to him about it, user. Why can't we see him?
It's because he's probably on private. That's why.
While there's no one up, can you quickly explain to me like abiogenesis,
And you
like
know what?
like the
I agree.
like in detail, but like reasonable overview in detail, because I know almost nothing about it.
Oh, for sure. So basically, the idea was all the way back. The first one that a lot of people do is a thing called the Urey-Miller experiments back in like 1952. Basically, they found out it was like Urey and Miller, and they found out if you have methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water, and you give it literally a spark, because they had two basic flasks. And then in one flask, it had the raw stuff, and it went up, hit a spark, and in the other one, they got like a sludge. And in that sludge, they found amino acids. I think they found 7 of them. And they also found RNA. And they went, oh, damn, that's kind of cool.
Wait, like how much RNA? Like a single, like enough for
Like
Entire-
ribonucleotides, like quite a lot of them.
okay.
Oh, Top, can I ask a question related to this though?
Yeah, sure.
So, me and water are kind of like at this like, I guess crossroads. Okay, so did evolution start with Luca, or did it start with the first life form? And was the first life form?
Started way before Luca. That's just the last universal common ancestor.
See, I told you.
Damn
Now,
you.
follow-up question. But follow-up question. Wasn't the first life forms, weren't they RNA based? Because Cartman told me, scientific Cartman told me that they were RNA based. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good.
Mix. I mean, I think they were kind of like amyloids and RNA based. Yeah, it's like all the stuff seems to work together, but they were definitely not DNA. That's what we do know.
But yeah, seawater, like I'm not even trying to like rub it in your face, but it just makes more sense for like the first like evolution to start at the first life forms. Because then that's like
He started before then.
Even.
Like the mechanisms of evolution
Yeah.
probably started before. Because what's really cool is that I was trying to think of how to basically the whole research I've been doing is on amyloids, and I talk about them a lot. So I don't want to repeat myself. You've heard it before, but basically the idea is that do you know what amyloids are?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, so basically they found a lot in diseases like Alzheimer's or Huntington's or even like Parkinson's or like mad cow disease. Basically, they're proteins, they're misfolded proteins, so they're able to self-replicate and build and build and build, and they're usually very nasty. And they're not great.
Okay.
But what's very good is that there's been a lot of implication, really modern research from like 2020 onwards, showing that these were probably like one of the main catalysts that started life. That's really cool.
Okay. Yeah, that is cool. So, so within the evolutionary theory, then it's not just back to Luca. It does contend with prior
first
to.
universal common ancestor, or the first, yeah.
But within the evolutionary theory, isn't it just? It isn't just from the first DNA based
Well,
life form.
I think from
That's
the
the
evolution theory, it would be from Luca, yeah. But I think the evolution itself happened beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah, evolution. Basically, the tree of life goes all the way back to Luca. Basically, the tree of life goes all the way back to Luca. But it would make sense, like, because, you know, if evolution talks about if it's four life forms, where did Luca come from? Like, what did, you know what I mean? That,
Yeah.
because
Well-
even in the name, it's the last universal common ancestor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this, so the cool thing about it is kind of what my understanding of how kind of the first cell came about is that it started off because you've got these amino acids and you've got the RNA around basically hydrothermal vents, the alkaline, and you get the stuff talk about methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water. These will come together either through Strecker synthesis, which is making formaldehyde and hydrogen cyanide and basically crunching them together to make the early amino acids, or other mechanisms as well, where if something brown name, I forgot the thing. There's like other mechanisms as well, like carbon dioxide.
Okay. Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question, Tom. Are ameliorites cellular or not?
Ameliorites?
Did you say ameliorites with the mad
Amino
cow?
acids.
No, not amino acids. The
The
folding
proteins that
the
are
folding
replicating.
proteins. What did you say they were?
Oh, amyloids.
Amyloids. Okay, I was
Prions.
close.
Essentially, just prions, like
I was not close. Okay, amylites.
amyloids.
Amyloids. Okay, I'll get it the next three. Just say it three more times.
It's the same as
Amyloids.
prions.
Can you like oversimplify just real quickly how they are capable of self-replication?
Amyloid.
That's what I was about to get into, is because
Oh.
you've got these, and when it starts off, they found that in the presence of carbonyl sulfide, these amino acids would naturally form with amyloids. It's like, how does that work? Well, essentially, during these conditions of the hydrothermal vents, it's very deep, a lot of pressure, not very favorable conditions. So these amino acids will form, and they want to join together because they want to form, they want to form a chain, but they can't because it's so dense. They always break down and denature, unless they form the most stable conformation, which happens to be the amyloid. So it's a beta-pleated sheet. Beta-pleated sheets are just the strongest. They're the things that make like spider webs. Do you know how they're like really strong? It's because they're made of beta-pleated sheets.
I vividly remember having a conversation about, like, you know, in this context of like what we're speaking on right now, and about how I wanted to do the Miller-Urey experiment again, but also kind of like continue that on, and like basically like man-made abiogenesis, and then once you get to the first cell, that, you know, like the actual cell, I would want to put those in like a enclosed ecosystem, like a, you know what I mean, like to try to see if it's even.
Yeah,
So Tom,
somebody-
so
Guys, people have been doing that. I agree. Just the issue is that to replicate the condition sucks because you've got to try and
Well,
make
no.
a container that's very, very dense and very, very hot.
can you
And-
make
point I wanted to-
can you make amyloids, Tom?
Oh yeah, no, that'd be very bad for you. Oh, this is mad cow disease. They happen naturally in disease.
No. But can you reproduce one in a lab?
Yes, they found it in 2018. It was Rout, I think. Or no, it was Greenwood. So he did a study on it in ZKH Zurich. But essentially,
Snap! I'm gonna come down to Ohio and shove that air conditioner up your ass.
I'm literally all the way in the back in the fucking backyard. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
That's it.
But you'd be betraying your Canadian people. So go ahead.
yeah,
That's right.
The reason they do self-replicate, I didn't really get onto it, is that they see, so you've got a thing of amino acids, so imagine like glycine, valine, whatever, just like multiple things. And then on the top of them, you've got stacks of hydrogen bonds, which are really, really strong and really sticky. And that means, but they're only sticky to corresponding amino acids. So it'd be the same, just stacked on top, except like kind of back to front. So it'd be like valine, glycine, glycine, also be glycine, valine. It's like, and because of that, super strong connection. And the one on top is now going to have hydrogen bonds. And it's called like a steric zipper structure. Basically, it's going to build and build and build. And they're all going to be exactly the same, like amino acid conformation, which means it's self-replicating. It's really cool.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's cool. So Tom, do you think how do you give any credence to panspermia, where like amino acids came to Earth on a meteorite?
They can, but they're much more likely to just form in the hydrothermal vents. Because think about how many you need. You need constant supply, and we see a lot of them in the hydrothermal vents because energy, stuff you need to make it. We see them made now, compared to a random meteorite coming and crashing isn't going to give you the same supply, you know. And also, it's not going to have any of the other stuff as well. It's not going to have the metal ions, which we'll talk about later. It's not going to have anything for metabolism, which is really important about hydrothermal vents. Any of that kind of stuff.
All right. Just so you know, Snap, I would come down to the States and not consider it a betrayal of my people. I was saying that because that's what a lot of Canadians feel, but I could give a shit personally.
Oh no, I was just giving you a hard time.
That's so good. It's just my kids have been to Disney and Universal enough. That shit is so expensive, man. Like fuck.
But I brought up the whole the manufactured abiogenesis thing because somebody had brought up when we were having this conversation that the earlier tests they'd have to be like pressurized.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because of what you were saying. Like if it did occur in like deep sea thermal vents or hydrothermal vents, then that would absolutely make sense why it would only, like these chemical bonds would only occur in pressurized
They'd occur
areas.
anywhere. The bonds occur. It's just the ones to make the amyloids are the only ones that can occur. So it's kind of its own pressure, where nothing else can form. Only the amyloids can form. That kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Tom,
So,
what is your accent? I'm assuming British.
I'm weak.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is it English?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Where are you studying? Can I ask that? Much granularity?
South Coast. I'm not going to, dox
Yeah, fair
myself
enough.
on the internet.
Yeah, no, I know that shit, but like South Coast, okay.
It's up. But yeah, so you have these things, and basically, because they're exactly the same, if a little bit snaps off, you've got two identical copies of the same chain of amino acids, the same amyloid, which it's not alive, but it's able to be the first information transfer molecule. So it's the same information on both bits. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we go from proteins to cells?
So you've got there, and now you've got these things just floating around. It's like, cool, that's kind of boring. What do you do with them? Well, at the same time, you've got the thing that holds it together, the actual bubble of the protocell. This is formed by, in the hydrothermal vents, they're always like frothing, and they have a lot of carbon monoxide, and these will react with hydrogen to make like amphiphilic, which means they're both, part of it likes water, part of it doesn't like water, and they basically come together to create bubbles, essentially. And these bubbles allow certain stuff to get in, and also stop stuff from getting out, like a little barrier. That's all it is. And then, because of these early things, they also found studies in 2024 that shows that on their own, without anything else, these will become the phospholipid bilayer that we see in cells today, just completely spontaneously. But originally, it would have just been this primitive kind of bubble. So imagine you just have soap and water in a bottle, you shake it up, and you got a bunch of bubbles everywhere. That's the kind of thing. So then these protein or these like amyloids, little bits of them will be able to go inside or the bubble will form around them, and then they'll get stuck and they won't be able to leave. And then little bits can poke out and then snap off, and then it'll be exactly the same as the one next to it. So if you have a bubble containing this specific amyloid, a bit breaks off, snaps off in another bubble, you've now got two completely identical of these things because they're going to grow the same.
How would a bubble? I'm sorry, I missed something. But how would a bubble stay like down there? Like, isn't bubble like?
Yes, because you know the amyloids are really, really stable.
Yep.
They are going to provide. They're going to add like rebar. They're going to hold it together, like we see with our cytoskeleton now. And another way to be like, oh yeah, sure, it's not like science fiction. It's not, because we're able to see this with the organisms that exist there now. You know, there's a bunch of organisms that, you know, the archaea, the thermophiles that live there, that are going to do exactly what I'm saying, that do exactly all the things. They have the amyloids that hold it together. They have, you know, they have all this stuff. We're able to see it all happen live.
Okay.
And basically in here, so yeah, it's able to hold it together. That's what I was going to get into, the amyloids, but also it's able to provide compartmentalization, so different chemical reactions in different things. You don't want like an acid and a base reaction interfering. You don't want certain, you know, things. Floopsy's here as well. Floopsy's really good at abiogenesis. But basically, you have these. You also have these amyloids able to combine with metal ions that are found, basically form early versions of enzymes, like catalytic functions, and that's really cool. So like zinc ions or like manganese ions, these are able to like convert carbon dioxide to carbonate and back and forth to help regulate like the acidity. So like carbonate would be like basic, and yeah, and it's able to do that. And you're also able to like stabilize the membrane or stabilize the amyloids, all that kind of stuff, and that just forms spontaneously on their own. So just from these amyloids they'll combine, and because of the conformation again, they're like maintained. Yeah.
All right. So the next big jump that I cannot square is how did we get to like RNA encoding, like yeah.
So a really cool thing is that these amyloids have a very strong affinity for RNA. We know the RNA forms in this area through four-most reactions, and when it joins, it's unstable because the sugar inside of the ribose sugar wants to get used by so many other reactions. So it has not choices, but two things can happen. Either the RNA will form and immediately break down, or it'll form and then bind onto the side of one of these amyloids. And it'll bind onto the side chain, so it's the same every time. And either like single ribonucleotides will bind on, or chains will bind on as well, and that will stabilize it and create a very stable molecule of both of them together.
Not only that, but if these nucleotides end up next to each other, they can pair up. So like you have space for like novel reactions of RNAs to form.
Yeah, exactly. So you can build the chain on the side, and then eventually they can like peel off and form early ribozymes that are able to do a lot of things that a lot of the early abiogenesis stuff, or even like up to quite recently, talked a lot about RNA world and ribozymes and all the different reactions they can do, but they didn't explain how they could form like within the conditions, and the like amyloid world kind of answers that. Basically, the RNA is able to do a lot of the enzymatic functions. Even like ribosomes are ribozymes, so they're made mostly of RNA, and you know, make more of it, make more like proteins. That kind of
So I
makes
guess RNA acts more like an enzyme, right? Just there.
in this context, yeah, it's able to do both. It's able to either just cling onto the side of it, or little bits can peel off and then form like ribozymes.
That's so
Not to
cool.
mention it gets a safe ride inside of the micelle, like the early lipid barriers. So like you got a way for this RNA to get there to like get pieces off and combine in like very specific ways that need like the inside of a cell basically to react.
And also, you've got the other advantage of everything inside the membrane is a lot more protected from radiation or even predation from other things, from like loose RNA or loose amyloids from like binding with them instead. So even more compartmentalization. So yeah, now you've got kind of an old proto cell. It's held itself together. It's able to copy itself over. It's able to have RNA and amyloids, and it's able to have early machinery. So like the enzymes and the ribozymes, they're able to do their own thing. So that's, a good foundation of how the first cell was there. And then you've got, from there, you talk about like metabolism, how it gets its energy. But so far, does that kind of make sense?
Yep. No, that's us. Yeah. So how does it get its energy?
It's really cool.
Oh, that's his favorite part.
I do. It's cool.
Tell him about the slurping.
Basically, most of how we have energy now is all from ATP synthase. Basically, you want to get hydrogen ions from one thing to another. Imagine like a giant water wheel,
Yeah.
So to get this, usually plants will do it where they'll get energy from the sun, and basically they'll excite electrons. These electrons will go down, affect like plastiquinone B, and this will move hydrogen ions into space, and then they'll get like shunted through the water wheel. We do that with food, where the glucose will then give the electrons energy, and they're then able to do that, basically move them into the tight space, and they can get squeezed out again. But then in this, we don't have all that machinery because it's just started out. So what do? Well, all the energy is needed to move it from the low concentration into the high concentration, because the rest is passive, just to squeeze through the water wheel is just what it wants to do on its own. So luckily, in these hydrothermal vents, they're alkaline, which means that a lot of the ocean is more acidic, so it's got more hydrogen, and the vent is alkaline, so it hasn't got many.
Are you a mod, Tom? Can you make me big?
I don't think I am. Yeah, I can totally make 50 big. Cool. Yeah, that's ATP synthase. But essentially, before even this, to have a passive version of this, you just have...
So this is hydrogen ions moving across the membrane.
Yeah.
Powers.
And because of, the vent wants hydrogen ions, and the ocean's more acidic, hydrogen ions are passively going to be moving through. So it means the early protocells that are on the outside of this hydrothermal vent in like a little pocket, they're going to get the hydrogen ions. They're going to be able to use the energy from it as it pushes through, and they don't have to have any of the fancy machinery to be able to then kick the hydrogen ions out, because they already are going to get slurped into the alkaline vent. And that's just going to keep on happening, and that's what we see with the stuff that exists there today.
Sure. Is there any cell that is like the closest to that?
Yeah,
like
the stuff that the thermophiles that exist.
Yeah, there's archaea that live in the exact same spot where we think this are occurring originally.
Yeah, because it works,
I literally just got done discussing with Theos on Will.life about extremophiles. Oh my goodness.
Well, technically, wouldn't we be the extremophiles? Because that would be like the first, initial state of metabolism.
Yeah,
Not-
flamingos are technically like extremophiles. I didn't realize that.
Like, technically, it's just that this is my personal opinion when it comes to extremophiles. We're extremophiles in the way of how some people can't handle salt.
I think the only reason they're extremophiles is because we're the baseline for most things, so they're different from us. But yeah, if we were an archaea, we'd be hell of extremophiles,
Yeah,
That's just
like I said.
anthropocentrism.
Yeah, like I said, we're just extremophiles in the way of how some people can't handle salt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, and then I feel like from there you can kind of get.
Salt is too spicy.
Yeah, too much for me. I want
Yeah,
that.
while tardigrades over here is
Why
chucking.
can we not make
Carolina
fun of British
Reapers
people for one?
Like it's sugar.
They conquered the world for spices. Let's give them at least a little bit of credit.
Hell yeah,
Okay.
and I can't have.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
the break. I hate the.
Then they refuse to use any of them. It's
I was
weird.
just about to say, you got the UK over 400 years worth of conquering the world for spices, and you still can't figure out seasoning. I'm sorry.
I saw a meme. It was like the British are still eating like the Germans are flying overhead. and it's just like
What, you ain't have a minced
Beans
pie
on
and
toast.
stewed eels before?
I've never felt more segregated again. Nah, I've made the most beautiful spice dish once in my life, and it was so nice.
Tom, stop lying. We know you like beans on toast.
You fucking I do.
Hey, I like beans on toast. That's just good.
Damn.
Like, don't judge me. Try it. Cheese on top as well. Like, just a piece of toast. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That is
Whoa.
Jeez. Diabolical.
the world's nicest thing. Okay, you're gonna bash on it, but if you don't try it, you are dead. Honestly, all you need, you get the toast. Okay, what I do, you cut little squares of it, and then you have like a big one next to it. You put the beans on after you cooked them, and then you put some cheese on top, and it is the greatest thing in the world. Wasn't it?
I like the fact I love the fact you're trying to.
What kind of cheese?
I just cheddar, just a mild cheddar.
All you're doing is just masking the blandness with cheese. Like, you're not spicing the shit
It's
up.
not bland.
We're letting him away with the fact that he made the nicest spice dish
I
once
do
in his
sourdough
life.
toast. Sourdough toast, and you put a good spread of butter on it, and like salt and pepper it. And like if you get fresh ground pepper on it, you don't need cheese. It's perfect the way it is.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Like beans on toast. I had it with salad.
But you need the teal can of Heinz beans. That's the best
Yes,
ones.
I agree with 100%. You still can. Yeah.
Honey ones? The honey ones are the best.
Honey? What?
Honey beans.
Well, not baked beans. They're like tomato sauce beans.
Well,
Wait,
we have
is that
honey
not what
beans.
beans are in America?
We got honey beans over in Canada. I don't know what you guys.
Most beans in America are baked beans, and they're like a sweet sauce that's on them, basically like a barbecue sauce kind of thing.
Is it
But
not the
Heinz
bean-
beans you can get in America too, just people don't look for them often.
Really? What? Nah,
That's what we have.
That's crazy
That's-
to me. Well, it's not just like, because then the regular beans, like sometimes you get like kidney beans, but the main beans you get are the Heinz beans.
Well, most you can get like regular beans in a can, obviously, but like you could get beans with a sauce on it. Most of that in America is like baked beans of some kind.
See,
Or
my eyes, when I
beans.
hear beans on its own, is just what I'm thinking of, baked beans. That's all it is. The ones with the sauce are Heinz. Because there's like, in here, there's multiple things that aren't Heinz, that are like the same kind of thing.
Yeah, you want to know very funny but kind of disheartening fact about certain foods that are actually toxic?
Sure.
Do you know why you cannot eat kidney beans raw?
I vaguely know this. I've heard this once. I don't remember what it was though. What?
They contain cyanide.
That was it. I thought it was cyanide. There's no way it's cyanide. Yeah, it was cyanide.
You can't eat them raw because they contain cyanide. This is why you have to cook them.
And the cyanide just becomes soluble, and you drain it off. That's how that works.
Yep.
BTA, we got a new guest here. BTA, what's up?
BTA's friendly.
Oh, okay.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
man.
going on, mate? How's it going?
Going good.
Cool. Oh yeah, Pony.
Preference on cyanide.
What's my
Are you
stance on?
pro cyanide or anti cyanide?
Yeah, so
I'm
I'll take a
pro-
pro cyanide position.
Oh yeah, pro cyanide.
Yeah,
a little bit. in
Yeah,
every meal.
I'm pro cyanide and happiness.
Hell yeah, that's a crazy pull, Oblivion. Wow, I forgot about that.
I love that one. Oh, you gotta have a little bit of cyanide every day. The foam is just so good.
I used to eat like the whole apple, including the seeds. I was just like swallow them, and now I realize how bad that probably was as a kid.
Well, as long as you didn't like break the like
No, I
outer
did. I
seed
just like
coat.
chewed the center of the apple. Just ate the whole
Well,
thing.
did you chew the seeds up? Though?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Damn.
In SpongeBob, where it's got Squidward, he's trying to eat the burger and he takes like the tiniest bite of it. That was me eating apples. I was so scared I was gonna like die from an apple core.
Also, like, botany really isn't my thing, but like, from the surface level, just like researching certain plants, it is shocking how many plants have cyanide and we actively eat them.
Eat cyanide, right?
No!
In our body. Yes,
I
we
don't
do.
think so. Do we?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I've just heard and just like looked it up 1 second ago that it is an an essential part of our processes. And I
I
know
know
I'm doing a shit job, but
I know we can
it's a
make
thing.
cyanide. I know we can use it for like hydrogen. Cyanide is how we made amino acids originally. But also, wait, nah. What do you even use cyanide
So, like,
for?
Isn't
cyanide
like
is one of the
cyanide?
most lethal toxins on Earth.
Yeah,
It's not like that lethal, but
it's not great for you. Wait,
it's not
I'm gonna look
great.
up.
Wait,
But it's
didn't
not
they
like
used to
gonna.
hide that stuff in teeth or whatever when the spies were like popular in the
No,
Cold
they
War?
would have a pill capsule. They'll have it on a necklace.
So when they
And
have it, it's like a fake tooth.
yeah, they'll either have that they're on a fake tooth and they'll just crack it.
Does the human body need cyanide? Oh, vitamin B12 contains cyanide. Huh.
See, I'm not completely full of shit.
Damn.
Well, cyanide is just like nitrogen triple bonded to a carbon. That can exist on many different organic molecules. So
Yeah, and it protects from hypoxia and blood shortages and prevents anemia. Damn.
And you didn't think I could teach you anything, Tom. I heard you say that.
Like when?
I'm just joking. I'm just fucking with you.
But you know what the coolest thing about it is? The reason why you can't eat livers of some species of like carnivores is because they contain a lot of B12, and you can get B12 poison is basically cyanide poisoning.
What is B12 used for? I know it's for like it's blood stuff, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it makes you your pee swell up.
No, I think that's glycerin.
No, because like the blood stuff, you know.
Oh, it's like DNA synthesis. Wait, I think it was. Oh yeah. No, I remember. It was one of the biochemical pathways we had to learn about. I think it had B12 in it.
Evolution.
God
You're-
damn,
Hey, did-
B12 is massive.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm back. I was too busy with a phone call. But yeah, Tom, specifically B12 is a necessary component for the development of hemoglobin, as well as protection of your nerves and DNA synthesis.
Did you just read that off Google?
No, I know this off rip because I debate vegans.
You went and
Fair
looked
play,
up
honestly, that's-
Wikipedia. That's when now you're reading it.
No, Oblivion wouldn't lie.
No,
Like I literally debate vegans, and also dad. Also, it's fucking dad. So anyway,
Able scan.
I bet you.
Don't we naturally produce it in our body? Do we synthesize it, or do we have to obtain it from somewhere?
To obtain it? I'm not 100%.
Well, you can't produce something that doesn't exist. We could also talk about ribbons of imagery. We can make up words. There's a lot of things we can do.
Well, you know what I
We
mean.
can't produce it.
Synthesize
We can't synthesize it. I think it's okay by certain bacteria and archaea, but not by plants and animals. Huh.
Look at nobody knows what he just said. And
I
guess what?
Googled it.
None of it means nothing.
Sorry?
Dude, look how massive the B12 thing is. Like the
The B12
The size
thing.
of the molecule.
yes,
Is
the
that a
molecule is
scientific term?
humongous.
Sure it'll be
also
one.
real quick, Daz, I have a very low tolerance for your conspiracy BS, so don't even try it.
Well, I'm not trying to stir the pot, but sometimes it needs to be stirred.
Except you don't stir it, you throw the pot off the counter and try to say that it's not your fault.
So Oblivion, what are you debating vegans about? Because I'm a vegan,
Well,
so
that
what's the
is true.
contention?
That is true. But I'm
Usually-
not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that.
Like, okay, when I debate vegans, I specifically debate like militant vegans that are like, hey, like we shouldn't unalive animals at all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Or
that's
like
a good
people-
stance to have.
Like at all. But yeah, that is true. But then some of the claims that are made,
No.
like, oh, like
That's not a good thing. Like,
Oh,
as
what's
far
the
as-
argument for that?
Sure. So from an ecosystem management perspective, right?
Okay.
If you don't unalive certain populations, then they will, and if there's not enough food source in that environment to sustain them, they will slowly starve and die a horrible death.
Wait. What's the empirical data for this claim?
Yeah, I mean,
The empirical data for the claim is just base
Yeah.
observation and ecosystem management, man.
I
So
understand
like,
Oh, no, no, no.
ecosystem
That's
so,
management, but
not.
why
so
do
okay,
we
okay,
need to
Hold
be
on,
a
okay,
wait,
part
wait,
of it?
wait. Hold
sure,
on.
sure.
Wait,
So
I
if
also,
you
need
want to like,
empirical data for the claim. And what
wait,
is
also,
the claim specifically so I can write it down?
I can, well, okay, sure. How about at the Pinery Provincial Park in Ontario, right?
Okay.
There's a deer population that due to the fact that there's no natural predation, that it would became overpopulated to the point where the deer population that existed suffered as a result of the overpopulation and they were malnourished. And so
Okay.
what is done is we invite First Nations into that area so that they can perform a harvest or a culling, which then helps a sustainable population develop that's overall more healthier.
Sure,
Okay,
That's
but
so
just
why can't we implement
basic ecosystem management.
wait, so
Okay,
I
so
don't
why can't
understand how
we
that's against
implement
veganism, though.
yeah,
Like,
so why can't we implement immunocontraception into them, like into the deer population? Why can't we do
because
that?
it's not successful. Not only will it take too much time, not only will it take too much time, it also take okay. Also economically speaking, it's also extremely expensive, and also due to how we deal with invasive species as of right now with immunocontraception, you're not going to get the entirety of the population.
I mean, it feels there's a much simpler solution that people are doing, which is just put predators there to deal with the population. Because the
Yeah,
issue
but
is
I would
one's getting
assume
too big.
BAT's like contention for veganism is like a moral one. He doesn't want like sentient beings to be
Yeah,
suffering,
yeah. So
right?
the
Or like,
issue isn't. So I'll take
But if
a
you don't
threshold.
cull them, then you're encouraging that
Yeah, and it
separation.
gets
Wait, wait,
worse. It
wait.
gets
What
worse,
Yeah,
don't
am
you?
you
I?
know,
No,
Wait,
wait
wait.
a minute.
Wait,
This
hold
is
on. Wait,
actually
wait, wait.
this is actually what I do. Okay, so you guys all
Okay.
have your expertise. This is actually what I do. So
Okay, and
I'm
I
gonna.
believe you. I believe you.
So,
What I'm trying to say is I'm against factory farming and the unalivement of sentient beings when there's another way to do it.
right.
I
but
don't
you're
think
okay
it's
with like
right to take.
non-sentient, right?
Yeah, so I'll take like a threshold deontology position,
Okay.
essentially. I take it to be the case that this is actually really interesting to me. That position, I'll say that sentient beings have a right to life. They are subjects of a life, and they have the right to maintain that life. Now there is certain reductio's position, much like the ecosystem management, that I haven't given much thought to. And I
Good.
will need to do more research into it. That's why I
Let
was
me give you
asking
another one.
for.
Let me give
Yeah,
you
that's
another one.
fine. I'm down to learn. Like I'm not trying to like when I say empirical data, I'm not trying to get like a got you and I need you to give me the PubMed like 20-page ID. I actually do want to do
Um,
research into the topic. Like it's
I will
important to
say
me.
this. I will say this because it started when I was saying how I debate vegans. I specifically, like I said, debate against militant vegans, the ones that are like we shouldn't unalive animals at all. Also on top of that, people who make the claim that humans evolve when humans were evolving, humans did not evolve to consume meat, and I'm just like that's blatantly not true as far as human evolution goes.
From my
There's,
understanding,
oh,
70 to 80% of our diet came from plant-based food products, right?
Yeah,
Not food
specifically,
products, but
specifically fruits, nuts, and seeds because we're a frugivore.
so we're not. Yeah, yeah. See, I don't.
But the thing is, frugivores also eat meat. If you're gonna say we don't need to, especially right now, then yes, I would be inclined to agree with you because we have
Yeah, yeah. That's what
supplementation
I mean.
and everything. But when you make the
Yeah.
claim that humans evolve, when humans were evolving, we never evolved to eat meat, that's blatantly untrue.
Oh no, no. I wouldn't take it to be the case that we did evolve. That we didn't evolve.
That's who I debate against.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
See, my position is that I want
Hmm.
to reduce harm when it comes to sentient living beings, because I
okay.
view them in the same moral way that I would view like my dog or my wife, right?
So
I'm
let
not
me
militant
let
vegan. I'm not.
let me
Yeah,
let me give you
Oh,
another
fair enough.
example.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let
Let
me write it down actually for reals.
let me.
Hang on, one second.
Okay.
Get my pen and pad.
Can I
Yeah,
do a line of
I
questioning after you, Water?
Actually, I want to
Sure.
ask Water.
I'm just providing like actual like my job
Okay.
is to actually
What?
take the science and put it into practice.
yeah,
Right.
that's
I'm a
fine.
tech.
No, that I
I'm
like learning from experts.
I have like a moral thought experiment I want to go through with you.
Oh, interesting. I can't wait. Okay, what are you gonna say,
Hold
Water?
on.
So what we also do from just an ecosystem management perspective, like when beavers go into stormwater management ponds, right? what they will do is they will clog the inlet and the outlet of these structures that are, have a purposeful design. And so, but if we remove them and we take them to another location, they'll go and they'll find the other beavers because they're very territorial, and they'll kill them. Or sorry, they will unalive them and
Okay.
their families, and they could also have disease, right? So you're taking them from one ecosystem and putting them into another. Yeah, please do fact check this. And so
No, no, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you're introducing you can be introducing disease into that different natural environment, and they'll go and find another beaver family and unalive the whole thing. So what is more I guess cruel?
What is moral cruel? I don't take it to be the case that animals are moral agents, so I don't think they have the ability to be cruel. They're
No, I'm
acting
not
off
saying
their.
from an animalistic perspective. I'm saying from an ecosystem management perspective, right? Because beavers will do that. Like, they're our national animal, and they think we think they're all nice, right? But they will go and seek out and unalive the other beavers, introduce disease into that population. So from a simple ecosystem management perspective, that is the standard practice. So there's plenty of examples like that. I've just given you two.
What I have a question though
What
to
about
ask you
the
guys.
aesthetic like perspective though? Because like I only eat
I have
animals.
I have a question, Water. Like from I guess in that sort of perspective that you're in, right? Wouldn't isn't farming more? Isn't it technically harmful, like to be vegan, because we have to grow a lot of the food? We need to have a lot of pesticides, a lot of what's the thing
No,
called, fertilizers and stuff. Doesn't that contaminate the water?
There's energy level loss at each level of the food like chain, and when you go, oh, let's feed all these herbivores, you still have all the same things of cultivation that you would have if you just ate the plants.
well, no, I think I'm going to help out the vegan argument, even though I'm not one. But you would have to have a smaller land mass dedicated to your nutritional needs if it was entirely or purely plant-based versus supporting an animal which you then ate.
Also, a small thing for like the pesticide stuff. Like maybe we wouldn't have to use so much pesticides if people were just okay with GMOs.
Sorry, my
That is
mom was
like the
calling me. Mama BTA. We love
It's
Mama
it,
BTA.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gonna take my aesthetic consideration. Like,
So what's
what
the
if we just like save the cute ones and like eat all the ugly ones?
Oh, so we'll just take it like, okay, let's say we take a human and we find like a really cute human and then like a really ugly human, and then we just unalive the ugly human.
Yeah,
Would that be okay?
I didn't say there was like a species difference. That's what I'm saying.
you're just speaking for eugenics in the animal kingdom.
It's just strictly aesthetics. No, I'm saying it's just
Oh,
strictly aesthetic.
that sounds kind of crazy.
It is
But
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
P,
yeah.
I'm just gonna call you P because
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
can
what
call
the
me
fuck.
Dan if you can
Now,
remember
now
that,
you
or
say
Daniel.
that, I guess it is kind of crazy. I don't know if I want to hold this anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
I
P,
mean,
what's the line of
I mean,
questioning
to
so I
be
can write it
fair,
down?
Floppy. What is your criteria for ugly? Because have you seen Damascus goats?
okay.
Oh, that's a
Beauty's
whole.
in the eye of
It's
the
kind of
beholder.
just like an intuition I have about their beauty factor, you know.
Have you seen Damascus goats?
Okay. BTA. So like, assuming
Yes.
technological progress continues, we're probably gonna have some kind of sentient computer. Maybe not in
Mm-hmm.
a decade, but like at some point, right?
We
In
have that right
200
now
years,
with brain
2,000
organoids.
years.
There's a thing
Yeah.
we have right now. It's really cool.
Well,
Yeah, like
the
that. We like
sentience
we're clearly on
consideration.
the
Yeah.
track to sentient computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you want to know a
Computer
cool thing? Is that they do
Yeah.
that now with like brain organoids. They have computers that are running entirely on human brain cells.
sentience contention.
Sure. So
Talking about the
BTA, if we get to like
computers.
such a saturation
That
of
thing is
like,
beautiful.
That's
I can't
horrifying.
lie. I'm lying. That thing looks so fucking ugly. But continue with
That's
computer
fucking.
sentience.
yeah, yeah.
You
So
can't
That particular
survive by
one
eating
would
AI
contest.
computers.
no, hold on. Would you assign the same like moral value to a sentient computer as you would like an animal?
Yeah, so my view is syntiocentric, right? I'm not strictly vegan because I will eat I will eat like bivalves and mollusks. Okay.
Insects.
Yeah, I don't take them to have like the compartments
What
necessary
about
for
rodents?
consciousness. Yeah, so I don't, okay, so anything, just to clarify, anything that has the compartments necessary for sentience, I take into moral consideration. So if it doesn't have those
Do you
compartments,
mean sentience or
then
sapience? Because I would argue that insects have sentience.
so what's going to be the argument for insects having sentience?
Their response to stimuli, that is the definition of sentience.
Oh, that's the
Correct.
Correct?
definition of sentience? Oh, let me, because I have actually the sentience
Yeah,
definition wrote down on my phone.
Well,
that's another thing. That's
hang on.
another
Yeah,
thing
like
with
bees are considered sentient. Just to like support
yeah, like
Floopy's
Bees
argument.
undergo like logical reasoning too.
mhm. I mean that's like really a big argument when it comes to like
Structure, social structure as well, right?
yeah, like this is a really big argument when it comes to some members of the vegan community is the misunderstanding of sentience and sapience. Some do take the staunch approach of sentience, and then it just gets wonky because there's an argument that could be made that plants have some form of sentience.
Oh, so like I just looked it up. So it's
Like I
going
don't
to
make
be
that
the
argument,
ability,
but I know people who do.
What were you saying, BTA?
so it's going to be the
We
capacity
can't.
of
We
an
can't.
individual to, can you can you hear me?
Yep.
Just when
Okay.
you're out
So
of
it's
the
going to
app,
be
we
the capa-
could.
Oh no, I was Googling the definition because from my understanding, it's going to be the capacity to feel emotions and experience life through your five senses.
Yeah.
Um,
Invertebrates,
so
like insects, do that.
so they have emotions?
Yes.
They have
What's going to be
senses. What
the
do you mean?
It
No,
don't
no,
have
no, no, I said
emotions.
emotions. I said emotions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Some
I think
express, so
that's
they have
more
a way of
applies to
expressing emotion?
sapiens. Like I don't know why. I don't know how
Mm,
sentience is kind of getting lumped into that.
No, no,
Have you
no, no,
never?
Like even
Have
if
you?
we're
Have
going
you?
to talk about the ability to express emotions, like yes, like for instance, bees have been known to express play behavior. Also, they do have fear responses. Like the only problem when it comes to
True.
when it comes into like invertebrates, like insects, and the reason why some people say they don't express emotions is because invertebrates do not express it like vertebrates do. And I don't blame them when the ability to express emotion is limited when your skeleton is on the outside.
yeah. There's some really cool. Do ants express emotion? Actually, I have no idea because I know they do really cool stuff. But I don't know how much the individual ant
I mean, they have social
have like
structures.
autonomy.
So we do have data to support the claim that bees can experience like sadness, happiness, fulfillment.
It
They have
doesn't
the
have to be the full
ability.
array if they
Definitely
undergo
happy.
like some emotional response.
Well, I'll
Yeah, I
just
mean,
take like
they
a Tom Reagan more or less view, correct? Right. So the bee has far less ability to have this level of sentience. It has like a primitive, like
I mean,
we
they have
wouldn't even.
they have autonomy. They can choose. I mean, a lot of it's detect like biochemical signals, but they have the autonomy to do stuff that like, defend the hive. They can sacrifice themselves,
Well,
but they
so
do it
is
through
that
haplets.
But also on
yeah?
top of that, like if it's primitive, if I were to grant you the argument, if it's primitive, why is that a point of contention?
Well, see, I would say like
Do
it's
bees
like a
actually
more or
have to
less
like
view.
jazz for us to care about them?
Wait, so
Well,
you
no,
care
but they
more
wouldn't be
about,
able to.
hold on,
Okay, hang
more
on, hang
than,
on, hang on, hang
Guys,
on,
guys,
All
hold
guys,
on.
right,
Let
guys,
me
fine,
guys.
answer
Okay,
the
hang on.
question.
Whoa. Mod powers here. BTA is doing his best to contend with like four people here. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
like
trying my best.
yeah, so we're gonna be a little kinder, I think, with that.
Mhm.
So just who
Mind
is
you,
currently just
I'm not
no,
trying to be
you're
rude
doing
here.
great. You're not.
I'm
You're not at
actually, and
all.
I'm still learning the view, right? So like,
Yeah, you're not at all.
I,
You're not being
yeah,
rude at all,
okay,
BTA.
okay,
So I
okay,
just want to
good,
give
good.
you
Okay.
not at all. You're not doing that at
Also, I
all.
have a little bit of a lag on my end, so like if I do happen to overtalk somebody, my bad. Like my
Okay.
data's keeping up.
Okay, so we're gonna like Paninka was patiently wanting to have a few Q and A's with BTA. So Ponika, please go ahead.
Okay, so do you value stuff based on like how sentient they are, right? I don't care how you measure it, but just like if something's like more sentient, that say I can't say the word, but more
Let's
sentient.
say it has more
The more it is,
sapient.
right? Like you
Yeah.
would
Okay.
value a
Okay.
human over like a bee, right?
So now that I think about it, I actually misspoke because I was misreading what I wrote. So I take any agent that has sentience to be of moral consideration. So I misspoke.
Okay,
So if
okay. But do you give
bees,
more moral consideration to something that is quote unquote more
yes.
sentient?
So let's take for example the case that we have a dog and we have four humans on a boat. And now in this instance, you can only have four entities on the boat. I would pick the humans over the dog, not
Okay.
based on speciesism, but based on the fact that the dog isn't going to have as many experiences as the humans will have experiences because
What
that plays a
about, hold
factor
on.
into it.
So what about like a human with like a terminal cancer diagnosis versus a dog, right? And the dog will clearly live longer. What would you pick there?
So the terminal, in that instance, it's going to be the entity that has the like based on like some kind of like probability who's going to have more of an experiential state, right? The possibility. So if the dog is going to experience like 20 more years of life and the terminal cancer patient is going to unalive in like a month, I'm going to pick the dog because he's going to have the capability. It's going to be a case by case basis if that makes
Okay,
sense.
okay. So
He's
I
going to
want to
have
go
the capability.
with the case of sentient artificial intelligence, right? For like,
Yeah.
if like little Johnny, 3,000 years in the future, starts up like a computer program and starts up like 10 billion sentient chat GPTs, right? Or whatever like version like billion they're on at that time.
Version
Um,
69.
yeah, something like that, right? So he has billions upon billions of sentient chat GPTs, 69s going all at once,
hmm
and he like launches a different program to just torture them as much as like possible for these sentient beings to experience. Is that equivalent to like basically all the suffering that humans have done to each other?
If
Like, is
they,
that like the single worst crime that has ever been committed in human history?
if if the if the programs, so do the programs have the same level of sentience as a human being? Is the question the clarifying
Sure.
question
Well,
I
let's
need
go for this
answered?
hypothetical. Yes, either they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Due to the entailment of my view, I would hold that that is wrong because it is a sentient being that is being affected in a harmful way.
Sure. Not
So
to
I
mention it's
would
wrong. That
say,
it's like the single worst thing ever imaginable, right? Like this, like we like compared to what we've done, right? Like any single one of us, like that would be probably the single biggest crime against sentient beings ever committed. Period. Right.
well, it's also dependent on how many programs are running at one time,
Sure.
right? Like
Yeah.
if
Sure.
we say it's like 20 programs versus
Sure.
like
Let's just go
the
with like 20
Schmolikoffs.
billion. So there's no like contention.
Okay, so 20 billion. I would say in the case of sentience, I would say that is I couldn't. Damn, that's hard. That's a hard one. I might.
What if those chat GPTs were like scamming old ladies out of their social security checks?
Well, then they would be like morally wrong because they're harming another sentient being for their own gain.
Deviated quite far from the.
Okay, and I have one last
Yeah.
final question. Okay,
No,
just
you're
one
good. You're good.
last it's not even thought experiment, just like based. So do you value, I guess you value sentience from human to human, so you would probably assign one human like a higher value, quote unquote, than another human being, right?
Yeah, but they would still have the intrinsic right to life,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
But one
And I
human
hope
might
I'm
be more
conveying my
sentient
points
than
well
another
here.
human in your mind.
What's up?
One human might be more sentient than another human being in your mind.
Yeah, if they have like a let's say we have like some mentally disabled person, right? And then we have like Einstein or something. They're
Yeah.
going to have different levels of sentience.
Sure.
But at the same time, they are both going to have the same intrinsic right to life because they are both sentient.
Okay. All right, I guess that's it for my line of questioning. You guys
Okay.
can.
Okay. I hope that made a lot of
Yep.
sense. I hope that
Yep.
made sense.
No.
I'm still working out the logistics of
Yeah, yeah.
the
The
view and
AI stuff
the
was just like a check on consistency, right, within your moral
Okay.
system.
Yeah, it'll
sure.
just be like the view will be for an all-encompassing sentience. If it has sentience, it has moral value. It has a right to life, in my view.
I don't know
And
about that because there are some humans I would eat, namely billionaires.
You get some disease out of that, my man. I don't know.
I mean, but fluke.
Well, I
But
mean,
fluke, the meat.
Well, I'm not gonna eat them.
Okay, guys.
brains.
Hang on a sec. We got somebody new to the panel. Magdalene. Welcome to
Magdalene,
the panel.
can I get your age for TikTok?
Okay. Thanks for your contribution. Oh God. Waste of space. All right.
It was above.
but yeah, and here's the difference
Hold on,
between
we
me
got
and
another guess.
oh, you're good. You're good.
Wait, it's a car for TikTok purposes. Can I please get an age?
You speak English?
It's a car. It's a car, Ben Israel. For TikTok purposes, can I please get your age?
Oh, here we are. Just loading up.
Yeah.
Guys, joining up. Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear us?
All right, I'm gonna leave to free up some space on the panel, and I gotta go do some stuff. See you guys later.
Oh,
Nice,
man.
nice meeting you, Panika.
Yeah.
Oh,
You might
Issachar's
want to take some heat
looking something
seeker.
up. Getting ready.
Magdalene said that. Oh, Magdalene said that her.
Well, come back up, Magdalene. Come back up. As long as like it just you were playing some music in the background, so
It
try
was
that
a
again.
TikTok song, Magdalene.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Magdalene.
hello,
Hello,
Magdalene.
everybody.
Doing all right
What's
for
your
Are
TikTok?
we pronouncing that right?
Yeah, it's like Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, for TikTok
Oh,
purposes, please get an age.
I'm 23 years old.
Okay. Do you have anything to say about the live topic on the screen?
I particularly am drawn to the second line where it says all humans are apes.
That is
And
correct.
like if I was like just learning about this, like I want you guys to like explain this to me. Like if I am just learning, like I'm a kid like learning about evolution, like explain
Sure.
to me.
Okay. So Magdalene, I would ask you this: can you please define to me what an ape is?
Uh
Yeah, help
like how
her out.
divine it
Help
is.
her out
Like
a bit
this,
here.
this is how I do it
Let me
for
look
I'm
at.
just saying like the best jumping point is the gauge the gauge understanding. That's what Max like. Can you define what an ape is to the best of your ability?
it's a mammal,
Yeah.
grows hair,
Good
has
for a
5
mammal.
digits.
Very good. Very good so far. Yeah. Anything else?
I mean there's a lot of characteristics about
I mean, you
apes.
don't have to go through all. Like, if that's all you know, that's perfectly fine.
No, that's not all I know. But like I'm asking you guys. Like
So,
Well, I mean,
I'll just go through the list real quick, Oblivion,
yeah.
if you want.
yeah.
So
Okay.
there's a
That
suite
was
of
the
characteristics
jump
of
point,
traits that
FYI.
we commonly define with apes. The first one is large brains. Second one is upright posture. Third one is no tails. Fourth one is short, broad noses. The fifth one is brachiation or swinging shoulder joints. Number 6 is intelligence, like complex behaviors or like culture. Number 7 is sexual dimorphism. And number 8 is wide dietary, like not requirements, but like they usually have a wide diet range. And then the last one is that we have hair instead of fur.
Also a Y5 molar pattern.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, Wi-Fi features too.
kind of touching on what you said, the main one for me is that we can just hang from our arms. Like, if you want to like get on a door frame, you can just hang, and that's something that we can only do because we're apes.
Yep. So, like, all this boils down to, Magdalene, is ape is a clade. It's not a species, it's a clade. It's a group of animals, or group of organisms in general, that are put together based on how related they are. Are there physical characteristics that describes what are in these clades? That is correct. However, we mostly go by genetics and how they're even related to each other. But if we're going to also go by characteristics, humans are an ape because not only genetically do we belong into this group, but we have all the necessary characteristics for us to be an ape. But that doesn't make us a chimpanzee. That doesn't make us a gorilla or an orangutan or a gibbon. It's just orangutans, gibbons, humans, chimpanzees, so on and so forth. We're all part of the same group. We're just a different type of ape.
The Wi-Fi molars, by the way, and like brachiation, like is in other things too. Like monkeys can have that too. But like this suite of characteristics is what we call apes, basically, cladistically.
Yep. Though I
Yeah.
will say this, Y5 molar production is strictly within Hominoidea.
Really fancy word. Wait, what's Harmon? What? Word Oblivion? Sorry, I've never heard that.
Is that our
It's
family
a
name?
taxonomic family, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the family. That's the family's actual name, Hominoidea, and the subfamily that we belong to is Hominidae.
Is it Y5 molars? Because I thought monkeys had Y5 molars too. Because they also
Well,
have like 2, 1, 2, 3 dentition.
Well, apes are monkeys, but
I know that. I'm just saying,
but
like,
the specific formation for Y5 is in strictly ape feature. I don't know of any other clades other than hominids that actually have Y5 molars. Like even the Cercopithecines don't have it. They have the same the same number and the characteristic type molar, but strictly Y5 is an ape trait.
So Oblivion, what is Homonini then?
That's a tribe. That is the tribe that we share with chimpanzees and bonobos.
Okay.
So like,
do you have any other questions, Magdalene, before we just geek out with each other?
Yeah, well, it just always confuses me because, I mean, you go to a zoo and you see these things in cages, our ancestors, right?
no,
And,
they're not your ancestors. They're your cousins.
oh, sorry, my cousins.
It's okay.
I just find it really, like, odd that there's all these different types of, like, apes and gorillas and chimpanzees and
it
all these
says
different
howler
things, but
monkeys,
we,
colobus monkeys, and lemurs have Wi-Fi.
Oh, they do?
yeah, I just find it odd
Anyway,
that,
go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know how many years you guys think, how many billions of years that the world has been around for. Do you guys have like an estimate that you guys believe in?
4.6.
4.5
billion?
Yeah, 4.6 billion.
So okay. So 4.6 billion years, and you're telling me a chimpanzee or a whiteback gorilla or any of these other things didn't like evolve.
They did. They didn't evolve into humans.
They just evolved separate from us. I mean, if you look at a gorilla, like a silverback gorilla.
Oh, I'm
you're
sure
gonna
some
say that it's
things
not as evolved as us.
definitely altered and changed, but at the end of the day, like, it's still a gorilla.
Yeah, but it was they came from the same starting point, you know. Like we didn't.
Yeah,
have
but the
gorillas,
point
we
is,
just
like,
all came from the same point.
if they can evolve, then why aren't they evolving?
Hang on a sec. Let me take this.
There's
Let me
lots of
take this.
different-
Let me take this.
Over
So-
4.6 billion
so-
years. That
so-
just is something that I'm a logical thinker, and logically that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, life didn't show up when the Earth was first formed, right? So, but anyway, so every species that is existing today continues to evolve. So, evolution is the gradual change in allele frequencies over successive generations over time. So, everything that's alive is continuing to evolve. So, we don't stop evolving. No species of any type of animal or plant or fungal life on Earth has stopped evolving. That's a common misconception.
Unless you go extinct.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we had so long to evolve, and to the point where one of these types of apes or whatever could eventually evolve into the common day man.
Well, then one of them did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
No,
It's us.
no, but what
You
I'm
got it
saying,
right.
I'm
Hold on.
confused why that couldn't or didn't happen to any
You mean why are
other
we different?
of
Yeah,
the
Magdalene.
species.
But Magdalene,
Okay,
Yeah, we
so
have
Snap.
7 to
How,
6
how are we
million
Hang on,
different?
years
hang on, guys.
separate.
Snap,
You're saying
hang
that.
on, guys. Snapped wanted Snapped wanted to speak. He's the host. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Snap.
No, that's good. You can go out Oblivion.
yeah. I was about
You
to say
guys are
like
saying
Magdalene.
that
I would
there's so
have
many
to ask you,
similarities, but now you're saying that they're different.
Magdalene. I will have to ask you the same thing. I'm gonna ask you the same question I ask every single person who tries to
Okay.
bring this up. Why do different cats exist?
There's different breeds of cats.
I'm not talking about just different breeds. Why are there different
Oh,
species?
like lion, cougar, your modern day house cat.
Why do other cats exist?
Well, they're all still cats, but you don't see a cat, one cat evolving into a human,
Magdalene,
and all the other
Magdalene,
cats stay cats.
Magdalene, you say you're a logical thinker. I'm
I
asking you.
am a logical thinker.
So I'm asking you a logical question.
Yeah.
Why do other cats exist?
They all originated from, I'm guessing, a starting point.
Yeah, but why do other cats exist? They all started from the
They
same
were
common
created. Like,
Well, they
I don't
weren't
know.
created because do lions occupy the same lifestyle as a house cat?
Well, obviously not. There's
Do they eat the
adaptation
same
and
things as a house cat?
microevolution at play.
Microevolution is not a thing.
That is totally a thing. What do you mean?
It
It's
isn't a
not.
thing.
What do you mean microevolution isn't a thing? So you're telling me
Micro,
a
macro.
bird's beak changing, that like that's not microadaptation?
Yeah, it's not a thing. When we refer-
Okay, so you're saying
Magdalene, I'm trying to explain it to you, but you keep over talking. Micro and macroevolution do not exist. They're not actual terms that we use in biology and cladistics. They're just references to observation of time. How are you observing evolutionary change? Macro is observing evolutionary change over an unspecified amount of time. It could be anywhere between a year, a few months, a few centuries, a few millennia. It is unspecific. When people are usually referring to micro, it is per generation, which basically means every single time an organism has babies. It is not an actual biological term. We don't use this in biology. We don't use this in any other field of biology in of itself. The only people who make arguments and try to say they're forms of evolution are creationists and people who don't understand the sciences.
I learned this in high school. What do you mean with Darwin's theory? I literally learned about this specific type of bird that's beak started to curve.
Yes,
That's
no, so did I. They're Darwin's finches, but also it's not a specific bird.
okay, but you're saying it doesn't happen. But I literally learned about it in a book
What he's
taught by.
saying is
The
there's
issue
not
is
this
that-
distinction. It's all evolution
Okay.
there.
Yeah, there's no distinction between like macro and micro. It's all just evolution because there's no point where it goes from one to the other. It's just like the same mechanism. just over and
That's
over
like
again.
saying if I get enough inches, I'm not going to get to a mile. That makes no sense, you know?
That's literally
I'm not
Darwin's
following.
finches is not a specific bird. It's a whole
Macroevolution definitionally is just a very large change, right? So like, let's say that's like a distance of a mile. And when you look at something like microevolution, that'd be like small incremental changes from like a parent to an offspring, right? So you're looking at like inches. If I put a bunch of inches together, am I going to eventually get to a mile? Yes. That's how it works. You can't put a bunch of inches together and never get a mile.
Also, on top of that, again, when you say like don't
I
understand,
know.
like,
So what I'm saying is it happens. I don't know.
Darwin-
However,
they're different
Yeah,
observations.
you're saying macro happens then, because if you accept
I just said
then macro is micro. It's just a
Yeah,
bunch of micros together.
I think
So
it's just
Magdalene-
semantics at this point. Like
so
the
yeah,
things
so-
we're saying,
so, yeah,
it's just
so
semantically,
I'm-
people don't call it micro and macroevolution. But it's basically the same
So
thing.
just let Oblivion talk. He's the paleontologist here, guys.
I mean, so is Tom, so is Floopy, and so
I
is
mean,
Water.
I'm a genetics undergrad. I'm not a paleontologist.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we got 4 people who study biology here. Like Christopher, like we're good. If anyone else wants to also hop in, they can.
No, I was just gonna say, well, just to Magdalene, like, is that you are asking us what evolutionary biology and the terms within evolutionary biology and what is used to describe and the terms within it, right? So we understand that you are correct, right, when you say that it exists, Sure, it exists. And this is how we describe it. So if you want to become familiar with the terminology that is actually utilized within the science, that's what we're trying to communicate to you.
So what should I call it instead?
Just
Go ahead.
evolution. That's it. Just evolution.
Yeah. So then when you're
But
having a conversation,
the
so
reason
hang on,
why
hang on,
I
Magdalene.
address it as microevolution is because I don't believe in evolution like as a whole. Like I believe
Magdalene,
things can adapt and change, but I don't think things can change species or
Magdalene, that's a whole different conversation. That's doing the species.
no, but that's why I'm
from there.
saying like that's why I didn't say like microevolution. I do
you
believe in.
Wait, so where do you draw the line?
Magdalene,
That's
do you
a
think an
genuine
organism
question.
gives birth to another species, like one offspring from a parent?
No,
is
like
gonna
I
be a
don't
different
think
species?
that like we came from something that crawled out of the water.
Okay, so where do you think the line is? Because do you think that if you have things over
I
time,
I
that
have
they
God
can-
in me. I know exactly where I came from. I don't know about any of you,
The-
but
ignoring
I know
that, no,
exactly where I came
just
from.
ignoring all this, because I know you're trying to go off on that point. Before we get there, like, do you agree that over time things can change? They can have mutations. They can have changes.
We went
to
over this,
other-
of course, in their environment and I 100% agree with that.
So
Yeah.
if you have two things that are in two different environments with two different things, do you think
They
the
might
things
adapt
will be
differently,
different?
yes.
Exactly.
That's
Do you
true.
think
Yeah,
over a
that's
long
right.
enough time of being different, these
Okay.
adaptations are going to like shift enough? Like,
Yeah.
you move a rocket where you move it a bit at the start and then they'll move really far away. So do you think if you're isolated long enough, they won't be able to come together? They'll look different. They won't be able to breed and make fertile offspring. They'll just be different things.
I think they would still be able to breed. I think if
Well,
you put
what
a
if they
bird,
can't?
let's
If
say
they've been,
like back
like,
in
far enough?
creation, let's say you put a bird in Brazil and you put a bird in Australia, or like they're the same species. I mean, but then you separate them, one to Brazil, one
If
to
you have
Australia.
billions of
One might get darker in color and be,
Magdalene.
but
Over
it's
time,
still
you'll-
it's
Are you
still
meaning
Also,
like the
when it reaches
African
that
and
point,
Asian
they won't be able to
elephant?
join together anymore. There'll be
Hold on,
such a
everyone,
difference in
real
the
quick,
phenotypes.
Long speaking, because we're starting to do the thing where it's overwhelming. Like we need to do this one at a time. I will say this because the whole point is we're out of evolutioning now, and we're just talking about cladistics. Like Magdalene, what is a species?
I mean, I don't have like the Oxford Dictionary definition off the top of my head.
A species is just a distinct population. I'm giving you the definition. A species is just a distinct population group that can no longer be considered the parent population. That is what a species is.
So it's just not the original, like derived.
You can't call it that anymore.
And so, I'm going to say something. I'm going to let Floopty engage with Magdalene because he's been patient.
I'm trying to segue
Yeah.
into Floopty. But like,
So-
yeah, that's all a species is. Like when you say like you don't believe things will become a species, you're basically saying you don't believe that different populations of organisms could become so distinct from one another that you can't call them the same thing anymore. That is what you're saying right now.
I mean, maybe I said the wrong word. I mean, like, I don't know what you want to call this. Like, I think a dog can't change from being a dog. Like,
Well,
a wolf
again-
is still like a type of like canine. Like, it's still like, it's not going to change into a cat or a reptile.
Can I ask you
or-
about elephants? So like the Asian elephant versus the African elephant. Like would you say like they're the same kind, right? They're both elephants.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know that they actually split off from each other further ago than we did with our common ancestor with chimpanzees?
Okay.
So we're actually
Well-
more genetically similar to chimpanzees and bonobos than Asian elephants are to African elephants.
Okay, I don't.
And I just wanted to say,
Like,
Magdalene.
why
Hang
haven't
on,
you guys-
Magdalene.
Okay,
Magdalene,
sorry.
I just
Yeah.
no, it's okay. No, that's okay. We're having a good conversation, and like all of us like to engage, right? So that's what we're trying to manage here. Is just that there's plenty of people that believe that have a theological base or belief that also believe in the evolutionary theory. So there is room for both, and I think my best advice it would just be for you to actually learn the science, so to understand what you're contending with, and one doesn't necessarily cancel out the other. And go ahead, anyone else. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. So to help out, to help out, I'm going to put up a phylogenetic chart just to help out. Snap, can I get the big screen? Since we're just on this subject, just to help out. Okay, you could go, Floop D. This is all I was doing.
Okay, I was just gonna point out, like, when we talk about these things, like we have these like formations, like this phylogenetic tree that you see here, and that makes predictions, right? So we can look for things that points out in the like genomes of these specific organisms and see if it matches up. Like, we actually change our phylogenetic trees around when we find genetic evidence to change them, right? Like,
Yeah,
do
I'm
you
looking
agree
at
that
it.
like DNA is like found like sound like you could
Yeah, like I
like
mean,
Maury
I'm
Povich got
Polish.
fame in paternity tests, right? Like, you can tell whose
Yeah,
people
like
are related to, right?
of course. I mean, it's in people too. Like if you take a 100% Italian person, a 100% Polish person, put them together, their kids are going to be 50-50, and then their kids are going to be, what? So I get how DNA
I'm just
works,
saying, like, in
and
the DNA, you'd be
eventually,
able to tell who the family is, right?
oh, yeah. Like even though, let's see. Hold on, I'm like squinting my eyes on my glasses on. Like the raccoon dog. Like I'm pretty sure like I could still tell that's some type of canine even though it doesn't look like your average dog. Okay?
I
Or
mean, that's not always the case, because like a rock hyrax looks like a rodent, even though it has like more closely related to elephants. But
Also,
it's not just based on looks.
Also, Fusa look like cats, but they're not cats.
Right. But so anyway, when we get into genetics, we made these predictions of like similarity, like way back even in Darwin's time. He didn't know about DNA at that time, right? But he said that like that was already understood that humans are very likely apes, right? Just taxonomically, which is like looking at the fossils and trying to put them together into families.
yeah, like I know what I've been taught that like pretty much my whole life and into college.
Okay. So, but then we falsified that by looking at the genetics, right? So now we know without a doubt we absolutely are related to like chimpanzees. Like, they're our closest relative. We're related to every other organism too, and we can see that in our genes as well. And the further away we are related to something, that's like the same thing we see with like the fossil record.
Really good evidence for this is the fact that we're able to use modern
Or
organisms
but
so well.
haven't you guys ever thought that maybe humans were just created and they're just
There's no
Yeah,
I guess
I
in your
used to
head
be a
maybe
young
just
Earth creationist, but
a
I
species
started.
of
here, like Magdalene.
Hang on, hang on. Hang on, guys. She didn't get to finish her thought. Go ahead, Magdalene.
yeah, like I don't know why it's just hard for people to just to believe or think, humans were divinely created. I don't think anything within my body is accidental. We're so complex in the way that our like yeah, I just I don't think that we came
Yeah.
from monkeys.
Magdalene, you're still a monkey, and I could use genetics to
It's
demonstrate.
okay. We can agree to disagree.
Wait, no,
Okay,
Magdalene.
so
At
I
this
guess-
point,
oh.
wait,
And I'm
everyone,
okay with that.
everyone, real quick. I
Yeah,
need to
that's fair
address
enough.
something because
Okay, go ahead.
To the question. One, with genetics, you are a monkey by definition. And the problem when it comes to being divinely created by God, there's no evidence to support.
Okay, you can think you're a monkey.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
I know.
I'm not done. There's no evidence to support being created by another deity with agency. Number one, if you're a Christian, which I suggest that you pretty much presented that you are, you lack the necessary characteristics to be made from clay. I.e., you lack silicates that are found only in clay. Also, on top of that, there's nothing about the human body that equals complexity equals intelligibility. If you're going to argue being divinely created, you would argue simplicity because that's the hallmark for design. Humans are extremely complex. We are the furthest thing from design. There's also a lot of functions that you have that are also redundant and also do not actually work. Like, for instance, like Magdalene. Quick question. Do you see things right side up or upside down?
I'd say right side up.
You actually see things upside down. Your brain makes it look like you're seeing up right side up.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, are you talking about like is the glass half full or half empty type of thing?
No,
Like, I thought that's
no,
what we were getting at.
no. How your eyes are
He's meaning
formed.
like the lensing of your eyes. It actually
How,
flips the image in your eye.
also, on top of that, your cornea is blocked by your optic nerve. Your brain is literally piecing the light together to make an image.
Yeah, like also through your optic nerve, you only get 10 megabits per second of like information, which isn't much considering it's all you can see. Like so much of what you actually see isn't there. Like your brain has to make up a lot of the gaps because there's just not that much stuff going through.
Also, on top of that, you can only see 3 wavelengths of light. This is where all the colors of the rainbow are. They're just 3 wavelengths of light mashing into together. You have organisms that can either see 2 wavelengths, or you have mantis shrimp that see 12.
Yeah, I mean, Macklin, just kind of my whole thing with it that kind of I don't really understand with creation is that a lot of things that we have in our body kind of make sense from the point of view of it works just about well enough, and that it was, it took more effort to get rid of, so they just worked around it. Like the idea that hiccups, we constantly are trying to, and we have a part of our brain that inhibits it. So, or
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat everything you just said?
with hiccups, we're constantly trying to, but there's a part of our brain that inhibits it. And there's cases of people where they've got hit in the head and that's been disabled, and they've just had hiccups for the rest of their life because that's just a thing that can happen.
But how often does that happen?
It's happened a few times with some like notable people.
Tom, hang on a sec. Like, I want to give Tom some space here because he's been waiting very patiently. Tom, can you explain why we have hiccups as far as an evolutionary leftover? Because that's fascinating.
Isn't hiccups the lack of oxygen in your brain or something?
No. Go. Tom's going to explain it to you about where it comes from and why we still have it. Go ahead.
Oh,
Tom.
thank you. I mean, I want to make sure, isn't it from when we had gills and we were making sure in case we had like something trapped in it, it was like cleared out?
Yeah.
Who told you that? The fish? Did he whisper that in your ear?
No, but like that, you were asking us. You asked us to explain to you.
This just sounds like something I read in one of my like mythology books I have on my bookshelf.
I'm going to give you something else, okay? Because
Please.
that is an evolutionary leftover from the time that we were a fish. But something else is you ever get startled awake where you like just like ugh, where you get that huge shiver, and then you don't like you had that sensation that you were falling.
Like
And
goosebumps.
well, no, like that you're just like startled.
Like when you're falling asleep, you ever get like
exactly.
jumped awake, like you're falling?
Or
Thanks.
like you're sleeping, you have a dream that you're falling, and before you hit the ground, you jump.
I've like jumped, like I've woken up out of a bad dream before.
Okay, well then this doesn't really have much utility for you, but that's an evolutionary leftover from when we did reside in trees.
Also,
How did you know that?
Because not only are this seen in arboreal organisms, when you actually understand how the brain works, it also matches up with other arboreal organisms. And genetically speaking, there's multiple different traits that abide by that. It's also the same reason as to why when something drops in front of you, your first instinct is to grab it.
So you don't.
It's a reaction. I don't want it to break.
So you don't go splat when you fall out of the tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can trace many of our behaviors, our moralities, our societal structures, the hierarchical organization, back through our evolution and common ancestry. So it's not really much of a mystery. So if you're asking us what the science demonstrates, this is what it demonstrates. Which is,
Also,
I believe, what you came up here.
I think
I believe what
animal,
you came up here for, right?
Sorry.
That's okay, but that's why you came up here. Is to
Yeah,
have us.
I'm genuinely curious and I'm trying to ask questions, engage, and understand, but I'm having
Yeah, you
a hard
are.
time. Like, I think any animal, if it's like chucked out of a tree, I'm pretty sure it's not just gonna like try to land on its back, right? So
Not necessarily.
I'm pretty sure most animals would try to land with their belly facing the ground. Most,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so like
Might be wrong on that. I don't know.
what
No,
I'm on
when it
about
comes
is
to
like,
when
okay,
it
so
comes to
the
animals
tree
that
thing,
fall out of
like us
trees.
jumping out of our sleep because we came from trees. Like we used to be camped out in a tree or something because we were.
So Magdalene.
I just-
Sorry, hang on a sec. Christopher is giving me actually what's that called, and he's been very patient. It's called the hypnotic jerk response. So if you could look that up when you're done talking with us, or turn into a teacup now, that provides the better or more long form explanation of what I was trying to describe to you. And I would say it's unusual that you haven't experienced that, because I experience that way too often. It's extremely annoying. And I'm
Yeah,
getting too old for that shit. My heart can't handle it.
but also like saying like any animal would do it, like that's also not the case, because like completely terrestrial animals like cattle don't have it. This is strictly a response to being an arboreal animal. Also, on top of that, like if we're just going to go down the route of like how we have all these different features, one of the greatest ones that I like to argue with is the mammalian diving reflex.
Well, you started
I'm just
with
waiting for
Libyan.
I'm just waiting for Magnum to come back their teacups.
Fair enough. I mean, it's been cool. I've actually learned some stuff. I had no idea it was called that. Havnatic jerk response.
Yep. But yeah, Magnum,
Yeah.
do you know what the mammalian diving reflex is?
Hang on a sec.
No.
I want to hear. Did you look that up? No, she turned into a teacup
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I did, but I still kind of don't agree with it because hiccups happen like for a variety like of reasons. It could be because you ate too fast.
I just don't think the
or you drank too much
behavioral
water
evidence
at
is going to
once.
be enough for Magdalene.
Well,
This is
'cause,
why.
like, what are all these other things then? Like you guys were saying,
Okay,
it's
this-
the
Well,
let's
hiccups
just
were
go to the
because you
other
once
natural
climbed up a
facts.
tree.
Too many people.
Like,
Go ahead.
the
Oblivion, go ahead.
genetics is cut and dry, right? Because the coding of the genes, like your gene expression, that is like definitionally what makes your phenotype for your body, right?
Yep. Also, like,
So-
if we're going to go with physical, Magdalene.
Mm.
Okay, quick question. Do you know what a coccyx is?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's usually called your tailbone.
Oh, okay. That I do know what that is.
Usually called your tailbone.
Oh, okay. That I do know what that is.
It's a tail.
Where's it at?
Your pelvis. It's
No,
actually the
like-
last bone. It's the last few bones of your spine.
Is it duodenum? Is that one of them?
Yeah, the
No,
coccyx.
but like I'm not a lizard. Like, why did my tail fall off?
It didn't fall. No, like you have a tail because you are an ape. An ape.
You got- I
doesn't
just
have
think-
tails. It's particularly called a coccyx, and the coccyx is described as an internal, non-functional tail.
Cool. I mean, actually,
I appreciate your viewpoints and I appreciate you guys having enthusiasm and knowledge and curiosity about what you're studying in your jobs. Like I really do admire that. But
Magdalene, I want
just
to
don't,
add something to
um,
the tail, thingy. So do you know, like, our vestigial tail actually still helps us balance today when we're sitting. So it's still proven.
I don't doubt it.
Instead of like stating facts about it, Magdalene, what can we tell you to convince you? What can we say and prove to you that to convince you of the fact?
I don't think that's the point of like a debate. I don't think anything can convince me because I know where I.
What if I could
I guess it's
mathematically
discussion.
prove to you that we're related to chimpanzees through a common ancestor?
even
I know where I came from, and I just hope you guys all
Okay,
know
I won't
that.
even try with the math if you don't care about the math. It's fine.
Yeah, like Magdalene.
What's the
Here's
point
the
of having this
problem with.
conversation if you don't want to hear about it? You know?
No, I've been in here listening about it. I've just been trying to gauge with why you all think this and
Because there's natural facts that we observe about the world.
Too many people. Hang on.
Hey,
Hey, Tom, let Tom go. Tom's been extremely patient. He hasn't got much airtime. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, like, one thing I think is pretty decent evidence of it, especially that came from chimps and similar, is we have a pseudogene, which means a thing that should work but doesn't because of a single mutation. And this is vitamin C. Vitamin C is good. If you don't have any, you get scurvy like pirates, you get all the nasty stuff and you get killed by an orange. But a lot of animals make their own vitamin C. And we have basically all the bits to make it, except the last step doesn't work. There was a single point mutation that cut it in the middle and means that it doesn't work anymore. Well, okay, that's kind of weird. Why is that still there if it was, designed perfectly? Then you look and you see other apes that from our like quite recent lineage also don't have this, and we're able to see, looking at all these different species, exactly where the cutoff was, from animals that can make vitamin C to animals that can't make vitamin C, and where the mutation happened. It's really cool.
So Magdalene, I just want to share with you, like, none of this is our opinion. We're not giving you our opinions. This is what the science demonstrates, and we're doing our best to articulate the science. And you've got some,
I know. I
so
know that.
that, like, this is like, so that's why it's not really a debate. Like like some of us here, like, we all learn from each other. We have our areas of expertise, and we correct each other, and we correct each other based on what the science demonstrates. It's not an opinion-based discussion for us. It's a science-based presentation of the facts as they are demonstrated by the science.
Sometimes it can be a bit, a bit opinion based on certain things, because no fact is like 100%. A lot of studies do their own thing, and some of them a bit contradictory.
Sure, but it's opinions. It's opinions within the scientific within the scientific context. It's not.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not. I don't believe this against the science, right?
Yeah, like this
None
is
of
what
us.
I was trying to say earlier. We're not making this out of our ass. This is why I actually had a very, very interesting question that I ask every theist. But like, yeah, we have facts and data to back up everything that we're saying that has been through rigorous testing that's been demonstrated its validity. So if you're just going to continue doing a nuh-uh and having, oh, I know where I came from, let me ask you this, Magdalene. If you're only going to go by strictly belief systems, how were you able to determine that your belief system's the only correct one and no one else's?
I mean, we could be here all day if you want to get into it.
Not really. Honestly, I don't.
Not
But like,
really.
Well, can we just ask like one of the utilities, like when we observe the natural fact of like chromosome 2 fusion, for example, why do we have these like remnants of telomeres in the middle of our chromosomes?
Your hearts are really hardened, and I hope God can unharden them. And
Magdalene, no, I want.
I'm just telling you an observable thing that we see in our DNA.
realize that you guys are divinely created and imperfectly perfect.
So
and,
Magdalene, hang on. I just want to respond to that. So
the
Magdalene,
Creator loves you, and
Magdalene, just hang on. So we're
have
we're
a
not
great day. God bless.
okay. We have theists on this panel that
Have a
are.
good one. Yeah, they just
She's gone. Okay. Well, I don't know if she got
That's why.
anything there.
That's
but
the reason why I asked. What can we say or tell you to convince you of the fact? That's the only reason why I asked that, because they go through that rambling.
Feel like it's not that. Also, water. Like, also, I am actually glad that you did the things that you did as far as potting goes. But it wasn't an info dump thing, because remember, Magdalene stated multiple times that this is what y'all believe, and keep doing thought termination in regards to belief. And remember when she's like, well, y'all could think that I know where I came from. That's why I asked, why, okay, how were you able to determine what you believe is the only one that is true, and you were able to determine that everyone else wasn't?
Yeah.
Because
So
they already came in with the precept that my religion is the one that is correct, and whatever science says is not correct. In fact, is actually here to say that my God didn't do what he claimed to do. And that's why she says, oh, what? That's why she brought up the 4.6 billion years. Or the whole thing's like, oh, like, why didn't they just evolve into humans? Like, oh, we were just divinely created. It's just, I have my belief system. I came here to listen to why you have this opinion, and I'm not going to retain any information because I'm inherently right.
So, and I think Oblivion, the biggest gain that you're going to get with somebody that is a devout theist that hasn't really examined evolutionary theory is a game of millimeters. So if you're trying to get them to completely come to the concept, I don't think that's a realistic aim. But if you just interject and try to keep on the topic of a few facts that they can understand, like Floopty, like she wasn't going to be able to contend with what you laid down, as like your last statement. But as far as like just introducing just how we categorize and speak to, and with the cladistic taxonomy with shared characteristics, like just some rudimentary base points. I think those are good seeds to plant. And if you then start like attacking theology as a premise, I think you're going to lose some of that utility that we might have gained in the
We
first
ju-
place.
we just need to ask her, like, do you see that, like, we have valid reasoning for, like, thinking the things that we think, at least, you know?
Yeah, no,
But also on top of that, like we didn't mention God once or belief. Like I even didn't. Like I do agree with you, and like this is why like I didn't make any theological claims. That's why I only asked like how were you able to determine that everyone else was wrong but yours is correct, and also like what is the metric that is needed for you to be convinced? Because at this point, I'm not trying to get them away from faith. Also, on top of that, to further demonstrate how we were correct in the comments. Oh, my God is everlasting, Alpha and
yeah.
Omega. Like it's thought termination. Like at some point when we were just talking about all the reasons as to why this is something that's observed and happens, she just decided I'm going to turn my brain off.
That's true. But we did introduce
Yeah.
some concepts that she has to contend with, that are just simple, like fun facts, right? Like fun facts, like like the like the vestigial tail, like the hypnotic jerk response, shared characteristics as far as what categorizes an ape. So those seeds might sprout. I'm always the optimist, right? Might sprout into a widening of the mind. Anyway, I think we did a good job.
Yeah,
My favorite is to ask about the fusion, and then like just once they accept that there is like these remnants of telomeres, but like they can say there's some kind of like mixture of DNA that God can just use however. Then you ask them, how come we predicted there would be this fusion from the 60s based on evolution? And then we found it once we did the Genome Project.
Yeah, but
Usually that
I don't
angle.
think she's going to understand what telomeres are. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
I will say this. That is true. Like, I will say this. My personal favorite. Well, here's the thing. Like, I'll say my personal favorite first. My personal favorite is because at this point, there's two conversations being had. One about cladistics and one about evolution. Like, I would just argue first. Hey, do genes exist? Do genes change? Do genes get passed on throughout the population? And if they say yes to all three, okay, you don't disagree with evolution. You disagree with cladistics and how we classify things.
Yeah.
And then the conversation just goes on from there. But Magdalene's a good example of we can't have a conversation with someone who's not willing to listen.
I agree that's the point. I don't like a lot of conversations having to be so reductionist the entire time.
sorry, what was that, Tom? I didn't catch that, bud.
Oh, I don't like having it so each conversation like, oh yeah, what is a gene? Like are genes real? That kind of thing. So that kind of gets boring.
Yeah, then it loses its utility. But I think we were having a good conversation when we were talking about what makes an ape, and shared characteristics and so on. Like she seemed to, and like micro versus macro evolution, she was tracking and willing to engage to a point. I think until we started to pull at some of her foundational worldviews a little too hard. But yeah,
Maybe we should have just ran through like biological anthropology and like the suite of characteristics that are unique to humans,
But
True.
I got a question for you guys. So, as far as like, what's your guys' least favorite? If evolution is real, why blank? Like for example, if evolution is real, or
why are there still apes? That's my least favorite because we are apes, and like that one pisses me off.
It's not that one's not my least favorite. Like it should be, but it's not. I just find it annoying because I hate repeating myself. It's just repetitive, and at some point I just become numb. It's just like, here we go again. I would think my least favorite when I argue against people who disagree with evolution, right, is people who take what we understand in science when it comes to evolution and then completely subvert it and just be like, if evolution is true, therefore, like they'll insert something about religion, and that's the ones I least like, because at that point it's like I'm not even talking about your religion, I'm not critiquing about your religion has no bearing in this conversation, and I could argue that whoever God you believe in, Krishna, Vishnu, fucking like Yahweh, like whoever, they just use evolution to make life diverse and just call it a day. It has no bearing on whether or not Moses split the Red Sea, or like
It's
Brahma
lazy
rode in
thinking.
on an elephant.
It is lazy
If
thinking.
evolution's real, how come bacteria haven't sprouted wings?
Yeah, that's annoying. That pisses me off, just
Are
that
there any
statement.
bacteria that fly, actually? Because I know some that are really good at being airborne, but like,
I don't want
I
to
mean,
think
they
about
probably
that.
fly in your mucus when you cough on people.
that's horrifying. I know there are some that can be like properly airborne for like a long time, which is why on like a cold day it's not good. I mean, on a real one of the things I like about these lives is that I can kind of use them to study
Oh yeah, me too.
a little bit because I've got I've had some this term. I got my results back at okay, and I've got 2 evolution modules next year. So
Nice.
You're
Yeah.
going to be able to
Also,
put
I
up that
will.
hand. You're going to be able to put that hand up like a champ, Tom. I know.
Also, real quick, I do want to say this, just to an earlier point. Tom, when you still like talking about genes and stuff, like not really productive in a conversation, that's why I asked, do you believe genes exist? Do they change and get passed on throughout the population? I'm pointing out that it's not productive.
I feel like just going back to the basics of it kind of gets a bit boring, because you don't learn anything, and it just feels like trying to teach someone like year 4 biology.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's why I asked the question. There's no point in discussing going into genetics unless genetics is
yeah.
the talking point. Because if you acknowledge genes
I
exist,
I just like it because it's like irrefutable. Everyone has access to BLAST. You can look at these genes like yourself, you know?
yep. hmm
Yeah.
That's why I
What's
just
hard?
point out. That's
What's
why I just asked the simple 3-part question just to move on. Do you believe genes exist? Yes. Do they change? Yes. Do they get passed on? Yes. Thank you. You don't disagree with evolution.
Yeah,
Moving on.
but
don't know.
Oblivion, I've heard you also go through, and I think it's a more effective argument for those that might not be as familiar with some of the terms. Is like, do you, do the female of your species produce milk, right? And you take those shared characteristics, those defining characteristics of mammalia, primates, monkeys, and apes, and you have to concede. They have to concede the shared characteristic. Otherwise, they're just, you know, anyone knows that humans, females, produce milk, for instance, or can you grab things, as far as a primate? Like, I think that's a really great argument that has a lot of utility because anyone can understand that.
I mean, yeah, this is where we start going into cladistics. That's why I say, like, if we're just going to talk about genes, right, it's not really productive unless we're talking about genes specifically. Because again, when we engage in these conversations, and what I've noticed and what I talked about multiple times, it's not the fact people disagree with evolution, even though there are some people who do. It's that the majority of people who disagree with evolution don't actually disagree with evolution. They disagree with cladistics. They just think evolution and cladistics are synonymous.
What's cladistics?
Cladistics is how we classify organisms. So when you put up like the phylogenetic trees, talk about monophyly, talk about clades, like that's cladistics. So when people's like, "Oh, you think that humans are an ape?" and it's like, "Yeah, that's a cladistics question, not an evolution question."
Because a lot of that stuff isn't that just almost like arbitrary because we've just decided to do that. That's not like a outright
Pretty
thing that
much.
existed.
Pretty much, but like when people bring it up, like, and they think evolution or hear evolution, the first thing to respond is, "Oh, you think humans are an ape? Oh, you think humans come from monkeys?" And it's like, yeah, that's not evolution, that's cladistics. You disagree with us being classified as an ape.
I don't think it's arbitrary. I
It
think
kind
that's a
of is.
well, like it's shared characteristics traced back through common ancestry. I would agree
Yeah, but it's
that
just us putting stuff in boxes. You know?
but also you can't say it's arbitrary because I don't think because through now that we have DNA, it mostly aligns with the cladistic classifications.
I think, like protists, for example, just in general, is that a lot of stuff was there's a really, in my mind, a really weird mishmash of stuff that was designed before we had a lot of the genetics, and then people don't want to change it, and also stuff because now we're doing energetics trying to fit the puzzle pieces. And I think a lot of it's trying to because everything's so dynamic, and nothing wants to be in boxes, but of course we have to because we have to have a way to easily describe it.
Sure,
So
sure. It
boxes,
provides that utility, but you're going to have to contend with that through genetic testing, the cladistic classification wouldn't be disparate enough to label it as arbitrary.
I mean, it is like the reason why we call arbitrary is because when you look at it in like when we put up these boxes, they're arbitrary for two reasons. One, nature really does not give a shit. It's literally just if you live long enough to have babies and those babies are long enough to have babies, then it's good. Like nature doesn't really care. The second part,
Well, speciation's super gray anyway. It's like a
yeah,
giant
that was the
gradient.
second
There's
part.
never a point.
yeah,
There's
That's
never a
what,
point like when you go from yellow to red where you're like, okay, now it's switched from yellow to orange. It's kind of like yellowy orange and then orangey red and then it goes to red, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
but
like
I
that
don't
was
think
the
I don't
second
think
part.
I don't
That
think
was the second
cladistic
part that
says
I
that
was
it
getting
happens
to.
on Wednesday, right?
Well, not even that. Like that's the
Yeah.
second part I was trying to contend to because like when it comes into like a species, like even with the modern definition of a species, which is distinct population groups that can no longer be attributed to the parent population, even that is arbitrary because it's a gradient. And there is a discussion even now in ecology and in cladistics on whether or not species actually exist. Because like what is like where's the line between Homo sapien and Heidelbergensis? Like where's the line between
There isn't.
there is
Erectus
no
There
line. I
isn't.
think that's the big
and
issue.
King
Is
and King
that
and
I think
Anthropus?
a
And
lot
that's
I
of
don't
people
think
stuff.
cladistics claims that there is one, but you're attacking my worldview, so I hate you all. Not
But
we're
the
not
thing
saying that
is
cladistics says
people
there's one. It's just
underestimate.
that there's no distinction.
I feel like people.
Nihilist, welcome to the panel. Can we get your age for TikTok purposes?
29.
What do you got to say about the prompt?
Oh, Niles is a friendly.
I believe
Okay.
evolution is a fact. However, what I think we evolved from is completely different from what everyone else believes in. I think we all evolved from nothing.
I,
No,
I,
you
I
like
see this
you had me in the
podcast.
first half. Also, you don't sound like me. I don't understand why people say you sound like me.
I don't know. I didn't hear it either. Like, we're
I
so
don't hear it.
distinct.
Does anyone else hear it?
No.
You were way more yelly.
Yeah, you guys sound nothing alike. Like, not even same tone, same cadence, nothing.
Like, is it because I'm getting a bigger presence on TikTok?
Maybe?
I don't know, but they were like, it's a new account. It's got to be Oblivion. And I was like, I'm not Oblivion. This is my account that I've had for a while. And I was trying to talk about nihilism, and they were just personally attacking me. And I was like, no. I was like, nothing matters. Yeah, I say that all the time. I was like, but what I'm saying is nothing really matters.
Yo, like, I
And
swear to God,
nothing else matters.
yo, I swear to God, it's because we're just talking about nihilism. Because I would argue for not. I argue sometimes for nihilism. Like, he actually tell me whether or not anything in the universe has intrinsic value.
Yes.
That depends per person. But honestly, what is value? Because everything came from nothing, so it has the value of nothing.
Okay, right.
On
I've
how
got a
much
head
value
off
you
now,
put on
but
nothing depends on how much
you have a
value you
lovely
see in
rest of your
everything
day.
else.
See you all in a bit. I got to head off.
Bye,
Dude,
Tom.
Tom.
Alright,
Yeah,
adios.
like that. I swear that's
Go
literally
slurp up some beans and toast, Tom.
I wanted to say it, but then I thought I shouldn't because I'd feel bad.
Nah, you need to talk about the meat patty covered in mashed potatoes.
So Nihilist, like, I don't even know where to start with that. That's sad, man. Like, are you an actual nihilist? I'm assuming you are.
I'm the religion, not the theocracy.
I don't know what that means. Can you help me out with that?
We believe nothing was so unstable that it created everything because it could not live in a void of nothingness all by itself. just remaining as nothingness. So therefore, it turned into something, and now we have the building blocks, which establish all things.
So the universe was bored and just created us so it could marvel at itself.
I think a state of nothingness is incoherent.
Guys, am I a monkey?
Yeah, that's more interesting. Cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up,
yeah,
bro?
like,
Well,
yeah,
think about
we
it. Where were
we
you?
hash. I don't know. So like we got hash this.
Sorry, we're having too many conversations. Sorry, Nyla, you were answering my question and I didn't give you the space to do that. Go ahead.
Where were you before you were here?
I was nothing.
Exactly. Everything was nothing. And everyone wants to say the whole, oh, sperm and an egg, you were in your mother and father before you were actually created. Therefore, you're actually a material before you were nothing. I'm like, that's just humanary terms, just trying to identify their world as being always and say that it was eternal and not coming from nothingness.
So, but just because I agree with you that I was nothing before I'm here, I wouldn't say that my life doesn't have any meaning.
I never said your life doesn't have any meaning. I said how much value you place upon nothing is how much value it has. I place a lot of value on nothing, man.
What value do you place on nothing?
Infinity.
Nothing is everything? It's
yes.
Okay.
Like if I was to pay for a nothingness, I would literally have to drop an infinite amount of dollars just to pay for one nothingness. Even if it was a nothing cigarette or a nothing soda or a nothing apple. It wouldn't matter what that nothing was. It's so expensive that because it's nothing that turned into something, it has the most value to me. Something that don't have value to me.
I'm not quite following this, but I'm gonna hop down anyway. It's been nice chatting with you guys.
I'm going to drop you a follow, Floopy. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks, nice meeting you guys too. I follow Snapped, but I'll follow you too, Waterworld.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Floopy. Before you go, I have to tell you, I successfully converted an entire panel of people to the cult of Warhammer.
Oh, nice.
StarCraft is superior.
Bullshit.
How dare you?
Justify that claim right now.
It's what I played for the last 30 years, so it's my entire worldview as far as gaming is concerned. It's the only
Yeah,
game
that just sounds like an argument of incredulity.
And I played Warhammer. I played Warhammer, and I prefer StarCraft. So it's also empirical to me.
Yeah, it's not empirical at that point. That's just anecdotal.
No,
Vikings Dynasty.
I want to believe it is, so that makes it true.
Oh, so we're just going to enact Pigeon's Razor. Okay, Pigeon's Razor.
I just wanted to piss you off by saying it was empirical.
Yo, ever since Pigeon made up Pigeon's Razor, I've been going around different lives using it.
I don't know how to argue like Oblivion. I don't know why they were saying I was like Oblivion. I was like, I'm not even talking like Oblivion talks. I'm like, he's like way smarter than me, bro. Yeah. Oblivion was talking about that scientific stuff, and I'm like, I wasn't even bringing up nothing scientific, just all religion.
How much do you smoke a day, bud? I'm with you. No, I smoke too, so it's not coming from a place of adjustment. I just recognize the effects of the darts on a voice because I have it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I smoke. I just don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
or cigars,
bro.
Or anything with tobacco.
Right. Well, Nyla's
dead. I told I have schizophrenia because I see and hear things that everyone says is not there, but I always say it's nothing. And I don't know. I think they're real. But everyone else who can't hear them or can't see them says they're not real and that they could be a danger to me.
Yeah, Nils, they're just squares. Like you need to join the Rectangle Club. You want
rectangles.
You want to know who else is part of the Rectangle Club?
Fuck rectangles.
Yeah, that just sounds like a you problem. But anyway, orcas are in the Rectangle Club. Why? Because we observe orcas French kissing.
How the hell does that make them part of the Rectangle Club?
Because I want them to be in the Rectangle Club. That's why.
Y'all want to hear some crazy stuff?
Sure.
Like real life crazy stuff, like magic.
No.
Nope.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, well then I'll talk about it.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just playing with you.
Okay, well I don't let any bug into my house except for spiders. And this mosquito was trying to fly into my house. And I said, no, mosquito, you're not allowed in here. You have to be a spider. The mosquito flew onto the wall, transformed into a spider, and said, am I welcome now? And I let it in.
Oh, goodness. You might want to talk to somebody about that one. I have recently formed a personal relationship with a jumping spider that's in my office. So he hangs out around the windowsill. And usually I would just try to like scoot the dude outside. But I've adopted him, and his name is Fred, and we're friends. That's real.
Dope. I love
I
them.
can't pick up snakes, but I can pick up spiders.
Jumping spiders are a little cool, though, but they are hard to try to get outside, right? Because they're fucking jumpy.
Yeah, they're a lot
They're
like
also
people.
so friendly. They're also so friendly.
They're cute, too. If you put them underneath a microscope, like not on a microscope, but if you look at them close up, those little buggers are so cute.
They look at people. They look around like people too.
That's the one with the mouth that like bounces, right? Like it like has like these little like pincers, not pincers, but kind of like this like little fang that looks like it's going to go into your flesh because it's bouncing them all the time. Isn't that a jockey spider?
No.
I don't know. I don't know my spiders very well. I know black widows. I know
There,
brown
there
recluse.
was a jumping There was a jumping spider that I trained on command to jump to the Tigger song.
How the hell did you do that?
But you can
A
talk to
lot
them, right?
of work.
Insects know our communication.
Like
You know
it's
that,
not
right?
going to it's not gonna jump on the beat. Like I trained it specifically where like when I had the Tigger song, right? After the fifth fund where he's like the wonderful thing about Tiggers. The Tiggers is a wonderful thing. The tops are made of rubber, the bottoms are made of springs, and jumping, 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 fun, 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 fun. That's when it will jump. It took forever.
Okay, how did you train it to jump at that time?
Essentially, it was I would have this speaker, and I would have like because I had at that time I had a JBL, so like I had the JBL speaker. I'll play the song, and like in its a little enclosure because the little enclosure that I had for it, I would have food, and it'll jump at the food. And then over time, I just kept playing the song during feeding, and it just associated the particular rhythm with feeding.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, like Schrodinger's bell. I've
Mhm.
done that before, actually.
So Oblivion Spider equates to Pavlov's dog, except for
Yep.
except
Oh,
for
yeah.
the bell, it was the
That's
Tigger
right.
song. That's cool.
Pavlov's dog, not fucking Schrodinger's bell. I'm fucking slow. But yeah,
It's scary how that principle works.
I agree with you 100%. I've done this. Like I've actually done this in practice with like a lot of different animals. I've done this with fish. I've done this with fucking lizards. Lizards specifically, I've done them with tegus. I had a red tegu and I had a black and white tegu. And I literally took a yellow Pringles lid, would slap it on the not even slap it all the time. I just put it right in front of the cage. At a certain point, when they would see the fucking Pringles lid, they would go fucking crazy because they knew they were gonna get fed. It's fucking cool.
I saw something, and this was like not nothing I did, but like if you're out on a date, right, and you're looking to do a little bit of conditioning, right, you can like when you're in conversation, like hey, you like puppies, and when you say that, and they're going to say yes, you pick up like a salt shaker, right. And there's a form of conditioning just with leading questions, and then you can like, hey, do you find me attractive? And you lift up the salt salt shaker, and they'll say yes, yes I do. You
That's
just
pretty
keep,
cool, bro.
you just keep asking those same type of questions that they're going to agree with until you know until you know until you get to the hey, do you think I'm attractive, and pick up the salt shaker and you have a better shot. Maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I heard it somewhere. It sounds reasonable.
So is it basically?
What do y'all think about?
So is it basically supposed to convince them that you're attractive, or is it like supposed to help them?
No, it's still Pavlov's dog. You ask them the questions, but they also see you picking up the salt shaker, so they associate a certain line of questioning where they're going to say yes with the salt shaker. So when you pick it up, they're just going to say yes.
Oh,
It's called associative conditioning. Like another example, it's like this. Another example, it's like when people pick up certain cues, like, like Michael looks at it. Okay, Michael picks up his cup before it's time to leave. So over time, when you start picking up that particular behavior, you're like, he always picks his cup up at that particular time. That means we're about to leave.
okay.
Gentlemen, I got a sun summoning, so I got to go. But as always,
I'm gonna drop down too. I see everyone later.
great talking to you guys. See you guys.
What do y'all feel about the evolution of AI?